Alrighty then, everybody. Welcome to 2.5 Gamers. The half is for Fizzy Stardust, who is not only half a person, but is only here half the time. And he is actually at work today, so he won't be joining us. Instead, we have Tom and Nagi.
Hi.
Nagi was going to call in anyway, so I just said he could be part of the show. We'll just have to deal with it. We only have a couple
Wait, so it's a burden now?
Yeah, it's always a burden.
Okay, that's cool.
We only have a few topics for today, including the recent layoffs at 38 Studios. MVZ wants to rage about the Wii U a little bit, and then Sony is deciding to take on the cloud, which...
From Final Fantasy VII, right?
Yeah, take on the cloud.
One.
That emo
That one guy.
son of a bitch.
That son of a bitch.
But we, as always, start off talking about what, if anything, that we have been playing this week, and then we shall move on from there. Whoever wants to go first, take it away.
No one jumping in? No?
Jump in. You know what, Nagi, what have you played this week? I'm going to choose.
I've been playing 3 games. The first one is Tetris DS. I cannot put that game down. It's just really fun. It's like I've had it ever since like September, October. I just like I try like every single time I play the game, I just want to get some better high scores. And it's like I put like the speeds like level 20, and I just can't lose to it. It's so easy now.
So tell me about Tetris DS and why it's so different from any other Tetris and why it's so much better than any other Tetris.
Because it has 6 different like Tetris games. It's like all these options. Like it's not just plain Tetris. No, I'm saying it's not just plain Tetris. It's like different modes and like different objectives and stuff like that. It's like Tetris puzzles and stuff.
Here's the way I see Tetris. Once the song starts, you just can't stop.
Yeah,
it's a good song.
Period.
It is a good song. Let's give it that.
Yeah, and it's like there's like a versus mode where you go against somebody, and like whoever gets like the most like same rows in a Tetris block is like who is gonna win.
Does it have an online mode or is it just local multiplayer?
I haven't actually checked. I should go check that out later.
Yeah, I mean, it would be cool if that. I'm pretty sure that they will release a 3DS Tetris game, and that would be pretty cool to have an online mode with, Nintendo's better online at the moment. They're getting better, so it would be nice to see like scoreboards and stuff. That would be cool. So.
And in the 3D mode, the Tetris blocks can look even more in depth.
Oh yes. Great.
Yeah.
They could do Tetris World like they did way back in the day on, I think it was the N64.
Mm-hmm.
Turn that on the 3DS.
Sorry, I never played bad games on my N64.
I never played it. It's just I remember the game because my friend had it and he played it a lot. But every time I went to his house, I would take the game, throw it across the room, and then put in Star Fox and just play the crap out of it.
Well, yeah, there'd be no reason to play anything else, to be honest, unless it was Ocarina of Time, but let's not get into that.
But I had that game. I didn't have Star Fox 64, so...
Okay.
Another game I've been playing, I'm replaying Lost Odyssey for the 360. I love that game.
I wanted to play that, but
so underrated for what it is.
What is Lost Odyssey?
It's basically, Miss Walker Studios?
Yes.
Yeah, they made their own RPG, and it's a 360 exclusive. It's called Lost Odyssey. It's like it's basically like heavy turn based in HD, and it's for just long, and it's really fun.
So it's a strategy game?
No. It's an RPG, and
it's turn-based
typical JRPG.
Okay, right.
Yeah, and like it has Nobuo Uematsu as the music composer, that's also a big plus.
That's more reason to buy it.
Man, big man Nobu in there. What a man.
Yeah, and like it's just like it's very enjoyable, and the story is fun. It's like basically how it starts out is just that you're an immortal, and you survive a giant meteor comet like fall on this battlefield, and it goes on from there,
That's pretty cool.
I heard about the game and I would have bought it, but then I remembered that I don't actually have a 360 and no interest to buy one. So I guess I'm shit out of luck on that regard.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. It's like me, I want to play Super Meat Boy, but no 360.
And the last game I'm playing
You
is
can't
CDI.
play Super Meat Boy on PC.
Yeah, but my PC,
Yeah, and the last game I'm playing is CDI Zelda because
Fuck no! Why? Why?
I like to replay it every once in a while.
Get out of this call. Get out. Get out.
Come on, Zed, wasn't that a good game?
Game.
Oh,
It was so fun. It's like
Jesus Christ.
one of Gamelon.
Which one are you playing?
One of
This is
Gamelon.
what all true warriors strive for.
Fuck. The gal
Anyway,
messed up.
who else is playing other stuff?
I, for the past few weeks, actually have been playing Tales of Grace's F for the PS3. The game is very, very, very fun if you're a fan of the Tales series. I know Nagi isn't because he's dumb, but
I just like good games.
yeah, my only
Play
problem
Tetris
with
on your DS and you.
my only problem with Tales of Grace's F is well, I'm used to the main character being likable, but he isn't for the first 8 hours of the game, and then he starts slowly becoming likable. The thing that makes
he becomes likable, or does he just grow on you?
he becomes likable.
Okay.
But the real reason why I'm continuing to play that game is the sub characters are fucking amazing. Like, they totally make up for it, and the story's really good too.
So as far as RPG elements go, how much of a traditional JRPG is this, and what's the combat system like in the Tales games in general?
Have you played Star Ocean?
I haven't, no.
I have.
I have. Last Hope was really fun.
Well, the RPG, I like to call it. It's called a live action RPG,
Mhm.
where it's not turn based. Like, everybody moves at the same time.
Right.
You go in and hit when you can hit and dodge when you can dodge and things like that. And I like that a lot more.
But you're physically.
FBZ, did
Yeah.
you ever watch any of my Swordcraft Story Summon Night 2 shit when I was doing that?
If this was a while ago, then I probably
It would have been. It was a while ago.
Yeah.
If you did, you would remember it. It's
Yeah.
never mind. Go ahead, Tom. You continue. It's your game.
Anyway, so basically it's pretty much the opposite of Final Fantasy, where Final Fantasy you wait to make your move until you're ready.
Uh-huh.
With Tales games and also Star Ocean games, you move where you want, when you want, and do stupidly high combos and do massive fucking damage to everything.
Now,
Profit.
do you have control over when you're hitting the enemy, or is it automated hitting?
You control.
You control it, okay.
You
So I
control
was kind of
everything.
thinking how similar it is to Xenoblade, because Xenoblade's system of combat is you sort of walk around the enemy and it auto attacks, but you have control over special attacks and stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
guess it's a bit more involving than that system. So that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, Tales, great fucking series. It's amazing.
Yeah.
The actual fighting system, if I remember correctly, is called the linear motion battle system.
That makes more sense, yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I was thinking about getting Tales of the Abyss on 3DS because, having a good long RPG to sink your teeth into on a portable is something I like having. I really enjoy Dragon Quest IX and stuff like that, so maybe I'll pick up Tales of the Abyss at some point.
Abyss is a solid game, but the main character in that game is even less likable at the start, but he becomes badass. It's not like he grows on you, he actually becomes badass.
Alright, that's cool.
And the music's great, too. That's another thing about Graces. The music is very meh. Nothing stands out for me.
Mm-hmm.
But Abyss, great fucking soundtrack. Amazing.
Awesome. Okay, is that it? That's all you've been playing this week, then?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I guess I'll dive in and say what I've been doing this week. Of course, I've had the week off because I finished exams pretty recently, but funnily enough, I haven't really played much PS3. I went in and did maybe an hour of Final Fantasy 13, got to a boss that I couldn't beat and got annoyed, so I stopped. So I'll probably go back to that.
Who was it?
I can't remember which one it was. I really can't remember.
It was totally Barthangelis.
Because
No.
easy.
Barthangelis is easy. I beat Barthangelis both forms, or I don't even know how many forms there are, but I beat him twice so far, and I've done it first time.
Okay.
So he
Do
wasn't.
you want me to spoil you? Because there's
No.
3.
Okay, well, I kind of guessed that you'd have to fight him again, but yeah, it makes sense. But it's one boss, it's some mech thing that I can't beat at the moment. It's annoying me. I'll get back to it.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, he's pretty tough.
It's very close to the end game. It's in like chapter 12 or something. So I'm getting. Very,
Oh, the Proud Clad.
I can't remember what it's called.
Okay.
It's something. I can talk to you after about it. You can
Okay.
help me out.
Yeah.
But I haven't really played much PS3. I'm going to get back to that as soon as I can. I've just been doing stupid chores around the house and stuff, and I've been making a vlog every day leading up to E3. So that takes.
Hey, you can plug that later.
I can, but that's just taking a long time. But before I came home, I had my Wii set up at university, and what I did play, I live streamed myself playing some Metroid Other M. Now,
Oh god.
Other M is a game that has come under a lot of fire from lots of people. It's very divisive in general. Some people kind of like it, and some people outright just hate it completely. I think a lot of it's to do with the story and to do with the really terrible voice acting.
And the assets.
yeah.
Don't forget the assets.
Well, I think visually it looks pretty good, to be honest. Like, as a Wii game, it's very polished. It has that very shiny look to it, which is good, because I feel that some games like Xenoblade, they look really good, like artistically, but in terms of the actual graphics and the polish isn't quite there. Whereas Metroid Other M is a very shiny game, so it looks quite crisp. It looks
like Brawl. Much like Brawl.
It looks very crisp. So even on a HD TV, you can say it looks really nice. But the thing with
Sonic Colors too.
Sonic Colors too. Games from Nintendo in general, like Galaxy, the Galaxy games and Brawl and that all looks really good. The thing with Other M, though, the voice acting is an issue. And the thing that I found quite funny about this was when I got Other M back in 2010, this was before I had played any games with HD graphics, anything from that kind of era with good voice acting and a good story and everything. And I really liked the dialogue and everything in Other M, and I thought that the voice acting was fine. There was nothing wrong with it. And then coming back to it, like a year and a half later, having played Uncharted 1 and 2, and having played Portal 2 and all these incredible games on the PS3,
Portal 2 is so good.
It hit me. I realized this is not up to par. Like, the voice acting and the I came back to it and I was like, I do not remember it being this bad. But because I've had experiences with these other games now, it's really hit me that it just was not up to par. I really don't know, what happened, but apparently it's not good. It's kind of funny though. It is pretty funny to listen to. I've enjoyed it. But Other M is a game where I think the atmosphere and everything and the visuals are where it stands up the most, and it looks the best in terms of that. But the problem with Other M are the controls and just the game mechanics in general. The control scheme, while it seems very interesting and very innovative, which it
doesn't
work, it doesn't. The problem, I feel, is that you're using a D-pad in a 3D world, and this is where the problems come in, because the D-pad is not meant to be used to control 3D movement. And
that's why Super Paper Mario uses it.
Yeah, I mean, Other M, to be perfectly honest, I thought originally it was going to be a more sort of 2D based Metroid, but it turned out to be more 3D. It had more 3D sections. It is very linear, so you always know what you're doing. There's a set path. But the problem is that the D-pad just does not control well, and it's very difficult to move around areas and just move around enemies in general. The other thing that I have a problem with is when you point to the screen with the Wii remote, it will point to the area where Samus is facing. So say you have a missile thing that you have to shoot in the foreground.
Ugh.
If Samus is facing the other direction and you point the Wii remote to the screen, it will point in the opposite direction to where you want to shoot. So you have to position Samus in the position where you want to shoot to, then point in the screen, and then shoot. Now, you could obviously move the camera like when you're in first-person mode, but
camera moves so slow.
Exactly. It's really sluggish when you're moving in first-person mode. Added to the fact that you can't actually move Samus when you're in first-person mode.
Yep.
You're locked to your spot. You can't move, which is a real issue as well. And their enemies are pretty difficult to defeat. The dodging mechanic is pretty nice. I think that that's a relatively good addition to the game, but it does have some issues with it. I kept getting caught like between an enemy and a wall after I dodged. Like it would dodge the attack, but then because the way that the graphics and everything work, Samus would get stuck between the wall and the enemy, and I wouldn't be able to get out, and I'd lose health, and I'd die for no reason apart from the stupid mechanics messing me up. So that's annoying. And the other thing that I don't like is the fact that you have no health pickups. There is no satisfaction to defeating an enemy other than, holy crap, finally defeated that enemy. That took fucking ages and it didn't need to. You do not get a health pickup from them. You don't get missile pickups. Instead, you have to recharge your health when it's low. And most of the time, my health is low because it's very difficult to kill enemies in this game. You'll take a lot of damage very quickly. So it's really becomes a problem in sort of the late stage of the game. And so that's something I don't like. I really feel that if you're going to have a game where a lot of it involves combat, you should have some gratification for that combat, and there simply is none. So most of the time, if I don't have to fight enemies, I will just run straight past them because there is no reason for me to fight them other than either to get an upgrade, which requires me clearing enemies in a room, or to just defeat a boss or whatever. But that's pretty much, I guess, my thoughts on Other M. I only played like another hour and a half of it. I got to another boss, which was pretty fun, actually. The bosses are very cool, I will say.
That's what I heard. The bosses are very fun.
Yeah, I mean, they're very epic in scale and very cinematic. The game is very cinematic as a whole, just because of their decision to concentrate more on story. So that's a big thing there. But that's pretty much Other M. I guess I'll go back to it. I still am not that far in it. I believe I'm like 7 or 8 hours. But I don't feel like I've made that much ground in it. So I'm gonna go back to it. Hopefully, be able to get past the problems I have with it and move on. But apart from that, I did get one more game, which arrived recently in the post. I did an unboxing for it, which was Kid Icarus Uprising. Tom, do you have this?
I do, but I have not played it very much.
Opened it, yeah, okay. Oh no, you've opened it, but you haven't played it that much.
I've played it. I've played like 2 hours of it.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I haven't had that much time to play it, and I've had the time to play it. My issue is that when it comes to this game, I'm one of these people who wants to play it with the stand, and I find a lot of the time that I'm doing lots of things at the same time. A lot of time when I play a portable game, I like to have a podcast on in the background, or I like to have like something going on my computer at the same time. The thing with this game is that I want to experience the entire thing as if it were a console experience, and looking at the game in general, it is very much a console experience. If you look at how high the production values are, the voice acting, like the cinematics, everything is...
That is one thing I noticed. The voice acting is extremely good for that game.
The thing which is amazing about the voice acting is that, yes, it's very cheesy, but the thing is the game is extremely self-aware. It's taking the piss out of itself so much of the time, and there are references to the old Kid Icarus games which are really awesome. I actually played a lot of Kid Icarus on the 3D Classics version that came out for 3DS, so I do get a lot of those references, and there are lots of enemies that crop up that you recognize from
like the Metroids.
Like the Metroids, and also the Grim Reaper guys, who you have to keep out of the way, because their laser sight will get you, and they'll start raining shit down from the sky on you. So those guys you have to watch out for.
I think if I have any complaint about Kid Icarus Uprising, it's the controls.
I agree. And
I think the game would work a lot better on the PC. And I mean that, like...
Oh, yeah, of course it would. It would work infinitely better in terms of a control scheme on the PC. That's pretty much the perfect system for it to be on.
You say that like the PC wouldn't be the best for everything.
Hey, no PC elitist talk around here.
Hey, try a racing game with a PC. Yeah, okay.
Good point.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. You're not really doing... To play a racing game properly, even on another system, you usually want some sort of peripheral.
No, you don't. Racing games work very well with analog control, and PC just doesn't.
I've done PC gaming with racing games. I'm not a huge racing fan.
No.
My name is Fiber, and I'm a PC elitist. All I like is PC. No other games.
I love my PS3, but my point is, in terms of being able to do controls, the PC is the best. It's the most precise.
It's
that's
the most
not me being
precise,
racist.
which is good for shooters, but it's not exactly good for racing games.
Hmm.
Which is racing games, or even
Fighting
the,
games.
fighting games like the
Yeah, but I refuse to play a fighting game with a controller either. I actually have to have a stick.
Wow.
I'll spend the money.
You're one of those people that has to use a fight stick and not a general
If
controller.
I am playing a fighting game, I'm taking that seriously. I'm getting a fight stick. Okay, leave me alone.
Hey, I
get a
can
fight stick for Super Smash Brothers Melee.
No, I don't have a Wii or
no, like
GameCube.
I can easily play Soul Calibur and Marvel vs. Capcom with a controller.
Yeah,
And
but Marvel vs. Capcom isn't a very good game, though.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
hey.
2 was good. 3 is.
Marvel vs.
eh.
Capcom 2 was. I remember playing Marvel vs. SNK on the Dreamcast. It is still my favorite fighting game.
Mhm.
Mine's Melee. Can't be beaten.
Mine's Soul Calibur 2.
Anyway, getting back on topic, away from
Sorry.
fighting games. I opened Kinikarus and I started off playing it without the stand. I just had it in my hand, and very quickly I realized that this was very uncomfortable. I didn't enjoy having it on my hand, like trying to lean on it with just against the desk or whatever. Another problem I had with it was the fact that the 3D came out of focus because my hand was wobbling a bit, so the 3D kept messing me up. So that was an issue because I like playing all my 3DS games in 3D. I think it's a visual enhancement more than it's 3D. It helps the gameplay. Of course, it can help the gameplay in some senses in games like Mario 3D Land. I think that's the sole game on the system in which 3D is necessary for gameplay. But in terms of just having it on in general, I like having it because it's just a visual enhancement. It's like an HD Switch, essentially. It just makes the game look better in my eyes. So I want to play it with 3D on, which meant that I had to use the stand. Now, the stand is actually a lot smaller than I thought it would be.
Yes.
It's very robust, and it works very well. And the thing I like about it, obviously, is that I can see the 3D perfectly fine, and hold the 3DS in my hand, and use the circle pad and use the stylus at the same time and make it all work, and it works very nicely. And so that's good. And the only problem I have with that is obviously every time I want to play the game, I have to set it up so that I have a table free and I have the stand free. So that has had a part to play in contributing to me not playing it all that much. But it is a really fun game, and
It is.
that's the thing I like about it a lot is that you have the intensity gauge, which
Yes.
Nintendo games in general don't have a difficulty adjustment sort of thing. And the thing which is nice about this is that the difficulty will increase with you as you play the game, and as you get better at the game will sort of move along with you, which is very nice, because if you aren't too good a gamer and you want to just play through the game and experience it all, you can do that just fine. Play on Intensity 1 the entire game. You can have fun with it and experience the whole thing without having to worry about the difficulty. But if you want the game to increase in difficulty as you go along, you want to challenge yourself, there are those levels which you can use to increase it and make things a lot more difficult for yourself.
What's the highest one you've done?
So far, I'm up to like 3.8 or something. I'm chapter 6 at the moment, so I'm not very far in.
You passed the Pandora's Labyrinth of Deceit?
Yes. So, I did that. So,
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
The highest difficulty I completed was 7, and that shit is batshit insane for 7.
Yeah, that sounds pretty tough.
I mean, I generally stick around 5. 5 is very, very fun.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I've done up to about chapter 6, but each chapter actually lasts a pretty long time. Like, they're pretty lengthy things. The aerial areas are pretty cool. They're only about 5 minutes, and a lot of the action obviously takes place on the ground. The thing I also have a bit of an issue with are the controls on the ground, just with the camera controls. It's very finicky to start with. I'm sure I'll get used to it, and it seems like it's kind of intuitive once you do get used to the flicking and stopping sort of motion you have to do to change the camera around. But otherwise, it's a really fun game. I'm enjoying it a lot, and I like experiencing it like it were a console game, because I like having the music up to full with the voice acting and just 3D on, my attention fully given to it without anything in the background. It's really pushing what the 3DS can do. Visually, it is stunning, and the production values are so high. You can clearly tell that this is a Sakurai game. It has the blueprints of Brawl all over it,
Yes.
mostly in the menu. The menu system is almost exactly like Brawl's.
Yep.
And in addition, there are all those achievement unlocks, which are like the trophy unlocks in Brawl that Sakurai had, like 300.
Yeah, Sakurai likes doing that.
It does. I think it's good because Sakurai is a pretty heavy driving force at Nintendo, and in terms of what the Wii U will do in terms of their sort of achievements or trophy system on that system, I hope that he's going to be involved with that because he seems to know how to do that sort of system relatively well. So I'm pretty sure that whatever Nintendo go with, whether it be like stars or Mario heads or whatever the hell you get for doing achievement stuff, achievement points and trophy stuff in games, I'm pretty sure that the Wii U will have that kind of system, and I hope that Sakurai has given a lot of attention to that because he's good at those sort of things.
It is pretty lame though that Sakurai isn't known for what he first created, which is Kirby. He's known for being the guy who made Smash Brothers.
Well, when you think about it, what's a more impressive game and what do more people enjoy and what is a better game?
I would say more people enjoy the Kirby games than enjoying Brawl, but that's just me.
Well, I guess that more people, in terms of the actual sort of hardcore Nintendo people, enjoy Smash Brothers more than they enjoy Kirby. Though there are a lot of people who love Kirby out there. Sakurai isn't really involved in the series anymore. He's not working for HAL. He's got projects.
Yeah, I know.
And everything. So,
Unfortunate.
But yeah, I will probably report back on Kid Icarus once I've had more experience with the game, once I've got a bit deeper into it, maybe played the online, and gotten it more into the weapon fusing and everything. Because the weapon stuff is something that I thought, well, everyone was raving about the weapon system, and I thought, well, whatever, I don't really like changing weapons in a game and upgrading and whatever.
There are so many.
Yeah, and the thing that I like about this game is the weapons are so distinct from one another.
Yes.
You can really tell the difference when you're playing what one weapon is from another. There's this one weapon which was like this thing which shot giant balls, and it was the speed of it, the speed in which it shot the balls out was a lot slower, but they were a lot more powerful. They were better for melee attacks, and when you shot the charged one, it was just a huge thing that destroyed it.
Yes, the charge attacks are very fun.
And then you have that distinct difference with that and like the sniping sort of stuff, which is a lot more quick paced, and they shoot out at a much quicker rate, and you can really just tell the distinct difference between all these things. And then I took a blade and I combined it with this giant blade. Yeah, I took a blade,
two blades, and you made a razor.
Yo, dog, I heard you had liked blades, so we bladed your blade so you can blade your blade.
But
was Wesley Snipes there because it was Blade?
So what I've been doing is I've been taking each weapon and I've been fusing another one to it. So every time I get a new weapon, I'll just look at my best weapon and be like, hey, I could maybe make this a bit better by adding something to it. So I'm not really keeping all the weapons at their base level. I'm fusing lots of them together just to get the ultimate thing that I want to use as I go through the game, essentially. And
Have you gotten any claws yet?
I have a couple of claws. I haven't tried.
Those are fun.
I haven't
Claws
tried
are
the claws
fun.
out at all yet, but I'm thinking of fusing a claw with something sometime soon and trying that out. I'm using a sniper at the moment, which is a lot of fun. I like the sort of quick-paced rate of fire, so that's something I'm enjoying. But I'll do a lot more with it.
What cars did you guys get?
What
cards?
I didn't even look at that.
I have them right here next to me. I got Pit, the first Blade. I got Magnus, Crusher Arm, Cradley, and Fortune Bow.
How much do you get? How much do you get a piece for a game?
You get 1, 2, 3, 6.
6.
6 in a pack.
I'd go check, but I'm way too lazy, and it's all the way on my desk.
Yeah.
Can't be bothered.
When I say Cradley, I mean the green things with the lips.
Yeah, I know. I'm just making fun of you.
Yeah. There you go. Anyway, that's pretty much that. I've done a little bit of Kid Icarus, but I want to get more into it. It's a very fun game, and I'm very impressed by what I've seen so far. So, Jake, you can take it away to finish us off.
Alrighty, well, anybody who actually has subbed to me knows that I am being evicted, so gaming is not high on my priority list.
Evicted.
Yeah.
Mm.
And by evicted, I mean my landlords, they have been dealing with some legal issues with the people who own the neighborhood. And I know very little about it, but basically they were asked to have everybody that's renting rooms removed, and they had to get rid of their dogs or they could lose their house.
Wow.
And they have decided instead to just move to Calgary for 6 months because they actually bought the house, but they can't sell it for another 6 months.
Yeah.
So they're going to move away, and they basically gave me a note that said, you need to leave. So I've been dealing with that. However, I still have found time to play some games because, well, I can't live without playing games. And there are two in particular that I
Nobody
played,
can.
and one of them is not League of Legends. In fact, I haven't played any League of Legends since before the last podcast because Diablo 3 came out, and that has sucked my soul away. Once I was actually able to break past the hardest boss you will ever face in any game ever, which is Error 37, and I actually got to play Diablo 3. I played that game almost nonstop for about 3 days.
Wow.
I hit max level on one character within 48 hours. I just plowed through that game.
Reminds me
And
of me and my Monster Hunter Try days. Play that game nonstop.
Yeah.
I should go get that game too.
I have a lot of issues with Diablo 3, but I think it's an amazing game. There's a reason why it's the best-selling PC game ever right now, and it shattered that record with pre-order sales. It's that good.
It pulled a Call of Duty.
It beat Call of Duty?
No, I'm saying it
PC
pulled a
game.
Call of Duty. Yeah.
PC. I don't know if it sold more than Call of Duty because obviously Call of Duty's on 3 systems.
Yeah.
But as far as pure PC titles goes, it is far and away the best seller, which is to be expected when it's a Blizzard title. Blizzard has 3 franchises, and they are the best 3 franchises in their genres.
Wait, which one's the third? Diablo, World of Warcraft?
Diablo, StarCraft, and Warcraft.
StarCraft, derp. I'm dumb.
But what I love about Diablo 3 is if you ever played Diablo 1 or Diablo 2, story was there, but nobody cared about it. And
Much like most massive RPGs.
well, in Diablo 3 though, they made a huge deal about connecting the first 2 games to the third game. There's a story involved. Pacing is an issue with Diablo 3, I found. And I thought that at first when my friends and I played, we didn't pay much attention to a lot of the cutscenes and stuff, but even when I went through on a higher difficulty and paid attention to every single thing, unless you are going around and you're finding the lore journals that get dropped around, you're talking to the NPCs, there are a lot of things that just come out of you from nowhere. And if you have played the game, you'll know what I'm talking about when I say at the end of Act 3, there is this massive curveball that just seems to come out of nowhere, and I won't spoil it. Part of me was expecting something to happen, but nothing like what they did, and I love how creative they were with it. And what I found with Diablo 3 is they really gave it the WoW treatment. Everything in that game is designed to set you up for Inferno mode, which is you can't unlock it until you're level 60. That's essentially a raid in World of Warcraft or any other MMO. Everything sets you up for that. Even though the first time you play, it's for the story. Then you go through Nightmare and Hell modes, and it's about preparing you for the disaster that will eventually be Inferno mode. For me, I play a Barbarian. That's my first level 60. I have a couple that are close to that as well. But it's tough. You'll find some elite mobs that every time you go up a difficulty, your elite mobs get another attribute trait. So you can have something that can shoot lasers
Final
at
Fantasy
you.
VIII treatment.
Yeah. And the worst thing I've seen so far is it can snare me in place. It sets up these lasers that can pretty much two-shot me. Then it shoots out frozen orbs that if I get stuck in them, I'm frozen solid and I can't move anyway. And every time I hit it, it shoots out electrical bolts that tear me to pieces. And the worst part about it is you want to play with your friends because it's difficult, but when you bring in your friends, it makes it twice as hard.
Yep. Just
And
like Borderlands. Just like Borderlands.
I have figured out a setup where I can actually go through Inferno mode on my own, but if the second my friends come to try and play with me, I'm just like, screw it, quit. You guys have fun. And I love the game. I really do. I think it's really well done. Diablo was that first top-down dungeon crawler. That was the one that started it off, and even though it's not done by anybody from Blizzard North who made Diablo 1 and Diablo 2, they did this justice. The other game I played was Torchlight 2, which was made by a lot of the people that did Diablo 2, a lot of the Blizzard North guys there, and the differences are huge. Torchlight, it's more of a classic game feel to it. They didn't innovate anything with it. Yeah, they have another class, and you can do male or female, but that's really the only thing that they bumped up. They also kind of did the Diablo 1 to Diablo 2 feel, where there's a lot more open world areas, which is nice.
Yeah.
But with Torchlight, they still keep the skill trees, which I think are outdated no matter what game you're playing. And the problem they're going to face is each class is going to have that one skeleton that you have to follow. You got to go down this path for the tree, and then you're fine. Which Diablo 3, you don't have that. Their rune system is great because my friend plays a barbarian. His is an eye system, nothing alike, because our playstyles are different, which is great. It's not, let's just get all of our AoE abilities, walk into a room, kill everything, which was Diablo 2 in a nutshell.
That's basically what I heard about Diablo 2.
And for Torchlight 2, they kept all of the old systems, which is fine. It's a $20 game, and it's the Blizzard North guys. They are staying true to what they do best, and I only played it for a couple of hours because when I got into that beta, that was when the whole eviction note came, so it kind of got put on the back burner, but I enjoyed it. I don't think it can stand up to Diablo 3 unless you want your classic Diablo 2 feel. But if it wasn't for the fact that it's $20, I think that it had to have come out before Diablo 3, and obviously it's not doing that, which is going to hurt them in the long run. Or they're going to have to wait about 5 or 6 months to release it, because by that point the Diablo 3 is the initial excitement is going to wear down a little bit. And I'm starting to see that now too, just because I'm at that point where I'm at the Inferno mode, and I'm pretty much just going around farming for better gear so I can continue on with it. Because if I try and go into the next act, I'm going to die in a shot, and I'm just going to get frustrated. And so that's what I played this week. It boggles my mind that I haven't played League of Legends, which I normally do, especially when a new champion comes out, but I'll probably do that at some point. Torchlight, all I've played.
I actually just remembered one more game that I was playing this week, if you don't mind if we delve into that.
That is not at all. Go ahead.
Saints Row the Third. That game...
That game. I really loved... I didn't play GTA 4, but I really loved, GTA 3, Vice City...
San Andreas, I assume.
I didn't play much of San Andreas. Vice City was the last one that I spent a lot of time with. But everything I've seen of Saints Row the Third, it's like, I want this game. I just don't have money for it.
See, the thing... Okay, normally I do not like those open world games. I'm not the hugest fan of GTA. I'm not the hugest fan of Prototype or anything like that. So I thought that Saints Row the Third would be The only reason I got it was my friends were like, hey, we're going to get Saints Row the Third. You should get it too. And I'm like, okay, then. Jesus Christ, the game is a lot of fun.
Yeah, normally
it's hilarious.
Normally for me, I'm a lot like you in that I don't like a lot of those open world type of games. And the reason that I just liked GTA is I never even followed the story. I went around and killed people.
Yup. Exactly what we do.
Was there
The
anything
cheese,
else
get
to
the
do? I had
tank.
no idea.
Well, there's actually a story. And when I heard that for the first time, I was like, my mind exploded. I was like, what? There's a story?
The story actually is pretty there in Saints Row the Third as well. It's just I'm not really paying attention.
Isn't there
to
like
it.
some like some side plot where like there's zombies in this one part of the game?
I don't know. All I'm seeing are like a bunch of people dressed up as luchadores trying to shoot me with automatic grenade launchers.
Also, Dom, I was seeing my friend play it, and the game looks very shiny.
It is.
It does look like that, yeah.
It's very, very nice.
The thing that I like about Saints Row the Third is that it just does not take anything seriously at all.
Nope, nothing.
It's not like what happened to GTA, where GTA 4 like kind of went a much more serious route and just kind of took itself a lot more seriously than the previous GTA games did. Saints Row is just like, fuck it, use dildo swords. Who gives fuck?
Seriously.
God, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, and also, do I even have to say anything? Pony Barn. That's all I'm gonna say. Like that, oh my god. And there's even a guy in the game who literally has auto-tune on all the time. That's how he
Can
talks.
you kill him? Can you
No.
kill him?
No,
Oh, that would be annoying to me after
unfortunately-
about 3 seconds.
Unfortunately, he is on your team. Which
That
is
sucks.
really unfortunate.
That sucks.
Yeah. I really wanted to kill him as well, but
I've seen a few different LP-esque things for Saints Row the Third. I don't follow a lot of them.
Yeah.
I know, I'll watch the Cox and Krendog occasionally. I don't watch every episode, but I want that game. I really do.
it's good. It's good. But yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say about it. It's great fun. If you're looking for just like a great game to play, it's Saints Row the Third. So good.
Yeah, if that game goes on sale anytime soon, I will definitely be buying it.
Good.
For now, I have other things to worry about, and Diablo 3, while starting to fizzle out, still Soul is drawn to it.
Yes.
One of the things I find really amusing about Diablo 3, though, is the day the auction house went up, people were trying to get all this really good gear, and when they'd find it, it was on the auction house for like 40 million gold.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
I haven't hit 40 million gold total. And so it's eventually now things are starting to go down a lot. People are realizing, okay, nobody has this much money. And I'm curious to know if they will, when the real money auction house goes out, if you'll see a lot of that really high inflated pricing again. But
Oh, you probably will. People are dumb.
you will, but the problem is, you will obviously when a system like that, Blizzard, they're not stupid. They know every time something goes up, they're getting a percentage. Even in the gold auction house, you lose 15% of whatever gold that you make from an item, and I think 15% is what they take out of your profits in the gold, real money auction house, and then PayPal takes a percentage out of that as well. So you'll probably see really high listings at first, just because people are obviously I want to make money off Diablo, because I'm going to be an entrepreneur.
And the other thing is that they have a price limit as well on items. There's a set, you can't go over like $250 or something like that. You can't charge more than that.
Well, nobody's going to, doesn't matter what it is, you're not going to have that.
Yeah.
What I really like about Diablo 3 though is if you play Diablo 2, you'll see so many of the same items being brought back. Some of the sets from Diablo 2 that come back, the Tal Rasha set, the Mortal King set for Barbarians, the Natalia set, which was an assassin set in Diablo 2. I think those are the only ones I recognize, but the Stone of Jordan is back, which anybody who played Diablo 2, that was the currency in Diablo 2, was how many Stones of Jordans can you get? And they made it where it's really not this great, fantastic ring that'll be currency, but I'll give Blizzard credit where credit's due. They finally realized that gold needs to have a purpose, and now that it can actually be a currency, it makes a lot of sense. In fact,
Yeah.
every character that you make, all the money that I have on my barbarian is shared through all of my characters. So if I make a level 1, I'm going to have about 3 million gold right now. So I can buy gear to level up with. There's no point to it, but I have that option available to me.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, once you get higher level and the higher difficulties, the gold drops increase. You don't notice it like you did in Diablo 2, where you'd walk out, kill a zombie, it dropped about 1,000 gold coins, and then you're just like,
Jeez.
1,000 gold coins. You still go and Act 4 Inferno and find things that drop 1 to 10 gold, and you just face bomb. It's like, this is useless to me. But it picks it up automatically, so I don't have to click it, which is always nice.
Yes, they fixed that in Diablo 2, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you used
yeah.
to be able to have to click for it.
The other good thing that they did with Diablo 3 is everybody gets their own loot if you're playing multiplayer. So you're not going to have people that are just joining a game, killing the boss, and just spamming to pick up all of the yellows and the legendary items. So,
Much like, I think, well, I haven't played it in like 5 years, so I don't know if they changed it at all, but RuneScape does that.
Oh, RuneScape! I love me some RuneScape.
I haven't played it since the 8th grade, but I remember back in the 8th grade, we had like 4 people who would stay in at recess at lunchtime.
Yeah.
We didn't want to
Yep.
play this, and we just balled it up on RuneScape.
Oh,
that was
dude.
Like, it was
Those were
before
the
the
days.
graphics and all that. It was
Uh-huh.
ugliness and
Dude, RuneScape was incredible when I first played that game.
Yep.
It is
It's-
the first and only MMO I've ever played. So there you go.
It's incredible that that game is still popular.
It is, yeah, it's
It
amazing.
is popular.
But I mean, a lot has to be said for the fact that it's free and it works on almost any computer. A lot of
Yep.
people, it has a wide reach, so it's
Well-
also very simple to get into. So
It's simple to get into, but they make money with it, which is incredible. Their membership system, it's amazing how many people do that. It's kind of like the Maple Story system. Those guys are geniuses. They make
they really
money
know what to
from
do.
it. I remember, I don't know if they're still on, but when I was still living in the States, they had commercials on TV for Maple Story, and I couldn't
What?
believe
What?
What?
an actual TV ad for it.
That is unbelievable. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You don't even see ads for World of Warcraft anymore. But I
No.
saw a freaking Maple Story ad.
Jeez, that is.
I remember when World of Warcraft ads were popular, Mr. T,
The Ozzy,
Night Elf,
the Ozzy
Mohawk.
Osbourne.
Yeah, the Aussie.
They released a new one not that long ago. It was with Chuck Norris.
Yeah, there was a Chuck
Ugh.
Norris one
It
recently.
was to promote the new expansion.
Yeah.
And I'll say that I liked it just because it's funny and it's Chuck Norris, but I don't know. I've been
Mr.
debating.
T's is better.
No, I still think the best one is Ozzy
I
Osbourne.
remember
He's Prince of
there was
Darkness.
an item in game where you could run around and actually just throw grenades at people, and they'd all have mohawk faces. It was great. People would get mad
I'm
at
Mr. T and this is my Night Elf Mohawk.
Okay.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we have covered what we've been playing pretty extively.
Yeah.
Yes.
Speaking of, I don't know.
No, you're not. You can't
No,
do that.
you can't
I
segue. No! If Fizz isn't here, there's no segues to be
I don't
had.
even like Fizz forcing that shit, but he does it anyway.
He does it well.
That's how we fired him. It's because he's useless.
Okay.
Oh, man.
You didn't
But,
fire Fizz.
No, he's just working. I told Zoe that we fired, and she was freaking out. She believed me. It's like, why
Zoe
would you
takes
do that?
everything
He
a little
didn't
too
contribute
seriously.
to anything in the show. We didn't need him. We replaced him with Peter Dinklage. It's fine.
Yes! Yes!
So my name is Peter Dinklage now.
You
You
can't-
wish your name was Peter
You
Dinklage.
wish. You wish. Oh, Jesus Christ.
If I could physically get Peter Dinklage on this show, I would die on the inside in the best way.
Yeah.
I didn't know
So,
you could die any other way.
But let us go ahead and we're gonna let MBZ get some things off his chest about the Wii U tablet.
Oh god, here we go.
Okay, guys. Here's the deal. Nintendo are fucking themselves in the ass right now, okay? So, last year, when they released the name Wii U, The entire internet went bonkers, and they were like, fuck! Why are you doing this? Why are you destroying yourselves, Nintendo?
I mean, Venusaur!
Fuck! But yeah, they had the name Wii U. Obviously, this name caused a lot of problems. I did a vlog about this a couple of days ago, but I feel that the name Wii U has many problems in both the casual and hardcore market. And reason is that there's lots of reasons. But first of all, take a look at the casual market. Casual market, first of all, got confused when the 3DS came out because, hey, the DS has like 4 systems in its family. This is clearly just a new DS, right? It just plays DS games, but it turns them into 3D, right? This is basically what casual people were thinking. Obviously, Nintendo did not make it distinctive enough that the 3DS was a different system, that it was new hardware, it was a lot more powerful, and that it had just better functionality in general. And people just didn't understand that because with the fact that they've penetrated the market so much into this blue ocean space, that they have a hold on it with the DS and with Wii, people didn't understand, and they thought, I have a DSi XL, why would I want this? This is smaller and doesn't do stuff like all it does.
DSi XL.
Another problem is there's a bit of bad what do you call it? Bad
I don't
feeling.
know, what do you call it?
Bad feeling about 3D in general. Everyone is very sour on the general idea of 3D at the moment, because, you know, obviously when Avatar came out, that shook the ground of cinema to make everyone be like, well, shit, this movie made more money than anything else in the history of ever. Let's all go slap 3D on our movie so that we win life. And
then you remember it didn't do that well because of 3D. It did that well because of everything else.
Yeah, exactly. It's so bad. The 3D stuff that's going on right now is terrible, and it's
3D rarely works. It rarely enhances a movie.
And the thing is that the 3DS is the one thing out there which actually does 3D well. The good thing about 3DS is because you don't have glasses, there's no dulling of the image, and obviously you can see things a lot more clearly because it's right in front of you. It's on a small screen, so the effect is much greater than it is on a large screen with glasses. So,
Yes.
you know, it's a much better system of viewing it. But until you've actually seen that in person, you're just going to be thinking, well, the 3DS is probably just going to be like those movies that are all crappy and retrofitted 3D. Retrofitted 3D is seriously the worst thing in the history of cinema. It is so fucking terrible, and I am just not even wanting to see any movie that has retrofitted 3D. Like, I know George Lucas is re-releasing all the Star Wars movies with retrofitted 3D, and
No, he's re-releasing the shitty Star Wars movies.
he's re-releasing all of them. He's just doing them in chronological order.
If he releases 4, 5, and 6 in 3D, he will finally ruin that franchise.
No, but
He's already ruined that franchise.
No, they have found ways to keep it afloat. But if they ruin 4, 5, and 6, that is the last straw.
They're releasing them. That is the plan. The plan is to release one every year for the next 6 years in retrofitted 3D.
Sounds dumb.
Then I am calling out all Star Wars fans, true Star Wars fans that is, to boycott them from doing 4, 5, and 6.
They're gonna do it anyway, no matter what people do.
It's George Lucas. He's crazy.
He wants money, and he will get his money. That is for sure. But
It's already making enough money. Don't ruin it.
on to the topic at hand. We know now that the Wii U name is not going to change. There was an image released by someone on Twitter. I believe it was a tester at Traveler's Tales, and he basically tweeted, "Hey, Nintendo fans, look what we have in the office," or whatever. And it was a new revised version of the tablet controller. Now, there are a lot of good things about the revised version of the tablet controller. For one thing, they have replaced the circle pads with analog sticks, which is good. Because third parties are going to like it now that they can have their clickable analog sticks for their L3, R3 buttons, basically. You know, for things like first-person shooters and stuff. It's just
Actually, wait a minute. Actually, we still can't tell if the sticks are clickable or not yet.
We can't tell, but if they didn't make them clickable, they would be retarded because third parties need that. They need it for their games, and Nintendo, if they want to be successful,
extent they
Look,
need.
okay,
There's
the
a
biggest-
lot of games that don't
The
use
biggest,
single
most
screen.
selling third-party game on the planet is Call of Duty, and Call of Duty uses clickable sticks. So if Nintendo don't do that, they are shooting themselves in the foot.
Well, to be fair, if they removed the clickable sticks, that would mean there would be no more knifing in Call of Duty.
That's not
It's
true. I don't use
that.
clickable. My knifing is set to circle when I play.
Oh,
I changed
well,
my controls. I
You're a
can't.
hipster then.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's good. I mean, it's good that they have.
It'd mean I couldn't go around and crouch. That would suck.
Yeah.
But be able to knife.
But we know that that's happening. It is a little bit strange because the analog sticks are above the buttons, but at this point we now have 3 different placements of analog sticks. You have the PS3 DualShock with the analog sticks below the buttons. You have the Xbox. You have the Xbox with 1 up top and 1 below, and you now
Which is the best, in my opinion.
have the Wii U with 2 up top, which no one has ever experienced before. Therefore, we cannot say how good it's going to be or how bad it's going to be just yet until we try it. We can assume things, of course, but we don't actually know until we've played with it. So that's that. We'll see how it works. And the controller is looking pretty cool in general. I'm pretty excited for it. But the fact is, Wii U is now on the controller. The name
That doesn't really mean anything, though. They can still change their minds and change where the analog sticks are. The system isn't out yet.
but this
No. The thing is,
They-
like
they-
they
they-
did say that by E3 2012 they would unveil their final version.
Exactly, and they can't because E3 is where the press are watching. This is where they're going to release what is going to be the final design, essentially, that's going to go
Yeah,
out.
but the DualShock 3 changed after it came out.
True, and also the Nintendo DS was changed before it was released. The design was very different. If you look back at E3 2004, look at the DS design, it was very different to the one that they actually ended up releasing. So there is still the potential. What there is not the potential for is a name change. First of all, because it's on the controller here, but it also, Nintendo a couple of days ago launched their official Facebook page for the Wii U, and it is, of course, called the Wii U on the Facebook page, so there you go. That is pretty much nailed in the coffin. So
That's unfortunate.
so it's staying, and there's nothing we can do about it. Now, there's a good thing about this. The good thing is that the Wii is an incredibly strong brand. It has so much market penetration, and everyone knows it. Everyone knows the name Wii. So just by having something with Wii in the name, it's going to sell things. It's going to sell you.
Yes.
That's a good thing. The problem is that both markets are going to have issues with this name. The casual crowd, as I said before with the 3DS, are going to have issues with it because they will not understand that this is a new system. Nintendo have released so many peripherals for the Wii on its own that people have this idea that the Wii will continue alongside the 360 and the PS3, and then it will just continue to release these peripherals as we go along.
I think I know why though, because like in the commercials you see people like playing. There's only one Wii U tablet, and the rest are all Wiimotes.
That is another problem. That's going to be another problem for them, is that they are retaining the use of original Wii controllers alongside the tablet. So not only are people going to be confused by that marketing, they're also going to be confused by the fact that the box that was shown at E3 last year, the Wii U box, the actual hardware unit, looks really similar to the Wii in its current form. It's a white box.
It's got rounded corners.
Oh, it's
totally
rounded
different.
corners. Whoop-de-doo.
And it's just flat, like
It
horizontal.
actually reminds me more of an original Xbox 360 more than anything.
Apart from it's a much, much smaller.
Yes.
And it basically looks very similar to the Wii, so that's an issue. So, you've got this entire problem with the casual market. They don't understand it's a new system. Therefore, they're going to be going to stores or whatever. They probably won't even go to the store to check it out. They'll probably see an advert for it, most likely. As you said, if you look at the Rayman Legends advert that came out, there's this one girl with the tablet, 3 other people with Wii controllers.
She looks bored as hell.
So they think it's a new.
So
So in that commercial, like someone would think that's a new controller, like for the Wii, but not a new system.
Yeah, there were a lot of people who were thinking that that before they actually showed the hardware, that the Wii U was just the controller, because
Yeah,
that's what they were
exactly.
focusing most on.
These are game journalists at E3 who know their shit, and lots of actual proper professional people in the industry didn't realize that it was a new system. That tells you a lot. I mean, if proper people in the industry can't identify that it's something different, then what the hell are the casual crowd going to
And
do?
like And thing is though, like I kind of think the reason why they thought that is because like they were demoing games that were like Wii graphic style, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of the problem was that in that even in that sizzle reel that they had to show off the controller and the game to start with, it focused a lot on the controller, and also the games they showed were things like New Super Mario Bros. Me, which I wrote a
Well,
blog
it's the same. Yeah.
post about the New Super Mario Bros. Games, but they have not changed in the last 8 years, however long it's been since the first one came out. They have not changed one bit. They look exactly the same. The assets are pretty much pulled from the one of the other games. So that's really a big issue. And also there with the Wii Fit stuff and the Me stuff, lots of Me stuff, which generally, even if you upscale it to HD, doesn't look a whole lot different because graphically it's very simplistic. So
Well, yeah,
Unless
that's
you're
the thing.
playing-
When you
unless
have a
you're playing
game
Zelda.
like
yeah, and I mean that was the one thing. The one thing, the saving grace was at the end. They showed the Zelda thing, which you could
Yes.
for
But
sure.
that's a
That-
game
yeah.
you could do in HD. When you look at the Mii's, if you look at things like The Walking Dead, those art styles, you can only do so much. You hit that, 480 point, and then everything above that, it's like it doesn't look any different. to me.
Exactly.
It looks a little bit shinier. than-
Exactly.
Yeah. So with those kind of games, that's why the Wii could get away with not having HD. But
Yep.
if now that they have that capability, that's when the third party's like, okay, now we can do this. We don't have to turn our thing into a comic book in order to make it look nice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But while I have the floor here, I know Chris Medson, you're definitely watching our podcast. Don't you listen to these casual fools? You don't make Diablo 3 easier. I will find you and I will cut you.
Oh dear.
But yeah,
Strong
like,
words from Mr. Fiber here.
Yeah.
I'm planning to buy the Wii U just for the HD Zelda and HD Smash Bros. That's
Just-
really it.
I really hope HD Smash Brothers isn't just Brawl 2, or else
Well,
fuck
we'll,
that shit.
we'll see what Sakurai does because he's hoping to do something very different with it. He's hoping to do something with connecting the 3DS version with the Wii U version.
So like it's one of the things that they're gonna like stress the most is like
Gimmick
stats.
101. Let us.
No, it's like
so you
it's
can
like
play 3DS,
stats
Wii
and
U,
like
the same game at
upgrading
the
your
same
power
time.
and stuff.
Wait,
No,
what?
like one of the things that that's gonna really that's gonna stress on in HD Smash Bros is like increasing your stats and power and stuff and like a
It's
more
not Smash Brothers.
yeah it's like
That's
it's like
Kid Icarus.
a more personalized feel kinda.
I think that Sakurai could very well do that, just looking at Kid Icarus in general and how customizable that game is. I think that that's something
like-
that he could draw on for Smash Bros.
He related it
And then you
and-
realize
yeah.
that it's on disc DLC that you have to pay for. Boom, marketed.
Not happening. This is Nintendo.
He related it
know
to,
what the word
the
DLC means.
stickers.
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah, that's gonna probably be something.
But-
If it has tripping,
Yeah, it's like
GTFO.
Like
But yeah, going back to what I was saying about the casual, obviously, they won't know what the hell's going on. Now, looking at the hardcore market, we, over the past 5-6 years, has created a lot of tension among hardcore gamers about how they feel abandoned by Nintendo and how, they're catering to this whole new crowd and they've basically forgotten about the people who made them who they are, the actual gamers themselves. And the name Wii has just a lot of bad feeling that comes with it. So by naming your system the Wii U, you are kind of giving them signs that, hey, this is going to be what we just had, just a little bit more expanded, as it
Yep.
were. I don't think that it's going to help at all in their marketing campaign. It's really going to hurt them when they're trying to get these people back, these people who have gone to the other HD systems, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough for them to get there.
But look at it this way. I mean, it could work because, didn't Microsoft do the same thing when they released the 360?
mm-hmm.
Well,
I'm
not
like,
sure
the
how-
original Xbox was just
Yeah.
called the Xbox, and then they released the Xbox 360.
say the
I mean,
same
this
thing
is
about
sort of similar.
the PS1 to the PS2 and the PS3, just changing.
Yeah, that
yeah,
too.
but
The difference
you knew
is,
that though.
the difference
did-
being here is that numbers are very different from letters. PS1 to PS2, 2 is a distinct change. It's a
Not
distinct
just that, it wasn't. Is this a tablet or a console? It was. The PSX was white.
Yes.
The PlayStation 2 was black.
Systems
It looked
looked
completely different. You knew it was a new system.
Yeah.
Yep.
They also, just as I said before, numbers have a big part to play in it, because when you say something is sequelized, people understand that,
It either has a number or a word like
returns or, whatever.
or uprising or ready. Could
Yeah.
you imagine the Wii uprising?
We up, that's what the U
That's what
Shit,
the U stands for.
Yeah,
Oh my
that's what
god!
the U
I
stands
cracked the
It
code.
should have just been called the Wii Revolution, if anything.
If they just called it Revolution, I would have been happy with that. That would have been fine.
Same.
Revolution
That was its code name, wasn't it?
was the original codename for the Wii. Wii U's codename was Cafe, Project Cafe.
Right.
Um,
That sounds awful.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna release a system. It's called the Nintendo Diner. It'll be amazing.
Do remember that the GameCube was codenamed
Yep,
Dolphin.
it's called the diner. It could somehow you'll have Guy Fieri come up. It's welcome to Diners, Drives-Ins, and the Wii U.
No. Thing is though, guys, actually, it's gonna be in the Nintendo Siren. Like that's the final name change.
That you know why they did that? It's when you hear that, you become entranced and
Yeah.
you fall under the siren spell.
The only thing that I like about the name is the fact that I can call the controller the Woomote.
The Woo.
That's what I'm calling it. It's the Woomote.
So there's Wiimotes and
You can't see
Woomotes.
me right now, but my palm is
That's what I'm doing it. I'm
Or
calling
like just call it the Wii Pad or something, or the Y
You
Pad.
find the remote.
the Woomote. Yes, the Woomote go. I can't.
Oh, Rob Fish.
God.
Remote.
Oh.
Oh, congratulations! I am a racist.
Don't worry, I think we're all a little bit racist.
Oh my god. Anyway, that's pretty much what I have to say. We are going to see a lot about Wii U at E3, and I hope that they have some stellar games in their lineup, because they need them. They need them for the launch. As
What?
they learned
Like
from the
Pilot Wings?
3DS, yeah, Pilot Wings, lol. As they learned from the 3DS launch,
I think they'll show Darksiders 2 at E3.
I think they probably will. That would be cool if
Well,
they.
I've seen some articles about it already, and apparently it looks just as good on the Wii U than it does as the 360 and the PS3.
Yeah, it will do.
So there's no reason for them to not. That's a true HD game that they can actually show.
Yes, yeah. I mean, they'll have their first party stuff, but we just don't know what it's going to be. They will have. It would be cool, I think, if they had a third party, company come up and do a demo on stage. I think that would, show that they're strengthening relationships with these different companies and hopefully getting more things on board and more software going. It'd be cool to see, some demo like that. That'd be good.
And like, I also think that maybe for Wii U release, a sequel to Golden Sun Dark Dawn, because Camelot, like they have the craziest cliffhangers for that series. I don't know why.
They're not gonna go from
Yeah,
a
that's true.
handheld to
No.
a console. It'll be a 3DS.
It will be a 3DS game. If they are working on a Golden Sun game, it will definitely be a 3DS release.
And
I mean,
if they
yeah,
want to
I
do another
haven't-
game in that universe and
And
put it on the
like-
console, I'm fine with that. But
And like knowing
no.
Camelot, they're probably gonna put a bigger cliffhanger in the next game for another game.
for me, coming from I love JRPGs. I grew up with them. I play them all the time. I don't see the point of doing all of this work to make Final Fantasy 13. Final Fantasy 13 looks great, but is there a reason to do it? It's still a JRPG.
Because
At
it
least-
looks great. That's
and
why.
That's the problem though. That's why I love console gaming back in the day. But that's another story in general. But what I want to say is, when you look at a game like White Knight Chronicles 2 or White Knight Chronicles 1, in its core, it's still a JRPG, but you can move around. There's a reason that the game looks nice. I think if you do a turn-based combat system, that you can do it like that, because it's a nice mixture of both, and then it feels like it's justified to have all of this money. Because at the end of the day, Final Fantasy 13, it looks nice, but it's not as good as its predecessors that weren't in HD.
I'll tell you that if you want a game that takes the 16-bit era of RPGs where you can go anywhere in the world map and literally go everywhere, play Xenoblade Chronicles, because that game, though it doesn't have the best graphical, prowess on the Wii, the way that they have done the environment and the artistic direction, the fact is that the world is absolutely massive, and the draw distances are fantastic as well. You can literally go anywhere in that game. You can be on a bridge, and there can be this ravine below you, and there could be a massive river. You can jump off the bridge into the river. It can take you downstream into some other secret hidden-off area, and such an expansive game. It really is like that realized JRPG feel in 3D.
Yeah, and if you beat the spider, you actually beat the game because Nubs hasn't beaten the spider yet.
I will get past it, and I really want to play this game. I really do. And I'm just stuck in this stupid fucking boss, but I'll get past it, and I will experience it. I will do it.
You've been at the same giant spider enemy for 5 months now.
Well, I've only attempted.
He's played the game once since he got to it. Okay.
I've only attempted it once, so I'm gonna go back to it. But there you go.
He's been busy grinding. He's got to get to max level before attempting the
He hasn't
second
even
boss
done
of the
that.
game.
I haven't
He's
even
been too busy playing Mario Brothers 3.
Don't even go there. Don't even go there.
Oh, I've already gone there.
Oh shit.
It's okay, Zed. You can't be worse than me when it comes to 2D Mario.
Oh, I can.
That's really sad.
Well, go watch my 48-minute playthrough of getting through World 2.
That is really sad.
I can paraphrase it for you. He basically says "fuck, really" and "shit"
On repeat.
on 48 minutes.
In no particular order, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he throws in the word "son" at some point.
So, fuck, really, son?
Shit.
Shit.
Yeah, and lots of random noises that, I can't remember.
A lot of thing in the background from Chase and whoever was in that call. I think was I there? No, I was just in the chat.
You're in the chat. Yeah.
Because that was one of those days where my internet was like, no, you can't stay connected.
That's unfortunate.
Anyway, let's move from Nintendo to Sony.
Oh, God.
Take on this next topic.
Basically, Sony has decided that they want to go to the cloud, which
To heaven, you mean? Right?
yeah, they want to go to heaven.
They want to ascend.
Go to Kid
They want to
Icarus.
try
Maybe
to
they'll
say.
start making games.
You say that, and yet Sony has the most exclusives. out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
But
I'm just.
when I first heard of the cloud thing, it doesn't matter. Like, if you have PlayStation Plus, you already have the cloud. So if you're taking away that feature from the PlayStation Plus group, what's the reason to have PlayStation Plus?
Okay.
Oh, we get discounts.
The thing
some
with the
free games.
cloud here with Sony is not that it's to do with game saves. It's to do with streaming game content. So we have two companies who are potentially going to be involved. One is Gaikai, who generally do stuff in browser-based streaming of games, and the other is OnLive, who have become very significant over the past year or so. If you watched any YouTube videos about 2 months ago, the only ads you would see on any YouTube video were OnLive ads. It got me so fucking sick of that fucking thing, because OnLive ads were everywhere at that time.
Adblock Plus. So
I was gonna say, I haven't seen an ad in about 3 years.
Adblock Plus doesn't make me revenue, so I don't use it. So,
Wow.
So what
Okay.
you're saying is you watch your own videos to get
well, of
money.
course I watch my own videos. I need to
Wow.
check them. I need to check them so I can annotate them. There you
if
go.
anyone sold out here, it was definitely Mr. Jimmy Hare over here.
Yeah.
Mm.
But no, like I said, when I first saw it, that's what I thought the cloud was, and then I read the article. It's like, oh, okay, this is different, because really, why would you shoot yourself in the foot and get rid of a subscription-based product by giving it to everybody? And yeah, I do know that OnLive is a nice little thing to have for sure. I actually like this move by Sony.
Mm-hmm. It's cool. I think some news came out recently that Gaikai are going to be the company that they're most likely going to go with some Twitter or something. Everything goes through Twitter these days. Everything's leaked through there. But apparently Gaikai are going to be the company that they're going with, which seems kind of interesting because Gaikai are more based into sort of browser stuff. Like they have a more sort of system that's integrated like that in terms of their streaming of games. But it would still be cool. I definitely want to see what they're going to do with it. And it's probably just going to be a step forward for them. Like more sort of testing the waters for what's going to happen in the next generation. I think that the cloud is going to be a major part of what Sony will do with PlayStation 4. So it's kind of just sort of dipping their toes in at the moment.
No, it's going to be called the PlayStation 3U. God.
The Orbis, yeah.
3X.
No,
Make it
it's called
sound
the
cool.
Orbis. Yeah, the Orbis.
Hey, one question. What do you mean by cloud? Because when I think cloud, I think of that Altaria on your head holding a PS3 controller in its mouth.
When I say cloud, I mean the internet sonosphere verse thing, basically. It's like the internet, basically. It's like streaming from the internet using the internet.
Oh, I see.
To do everything.
Oh,
You basically have
like-
to be have to be connected in order to play, and you have to it basically, like, at the moment what Sony have going with their cloud system is that you can have game saves saved to the cloud, which essentially means
360 has that.
yeah, but I mean whatever. I think both of them have.
The best way to describe the cloud is to use the PC version. If you have a desktop at home when you have the cloud and you're at the airport on your laptop, you can access your desktop's files through the cloud on your laptop at the airport.
Yeah, basically you
Wow.
upload your save data to
It's
the
essentially just a server on the internet that you can access
internet from
at your
wherever.
own-
As long as you have internet connection, you can get access to all your save data or whatever.
That's badass.
Yeah, it's very good. It's very universal, and it's basically where media is going at the moment. It's going to eventually lead towards cloud being the mainstream.
Which means hopefully better internet for everybody.
Hopefully,
Yay!
we'll see. Indeed. But yeah, that's that.
And by better internet, we obviously mean internet in retro 3D.
Yeah.
And no horses.
hmm
Missing
No,
upstream.
fuck that. If there's no horses, you can just count me out.
No, I'm saying like and missing upstreams.
Yeah, we're talking about MVZ, and
Oh.
it's not horses, it's goats.
Okay,
Oh.
okay.
I hated the fact I literally brought Cabalion in and it started. I was, what is going on? What is going on? It's pretty ridiculous.
That is
Yeah.
revolution.
It is. But yeah,
the
this-
Wii Revolution.
the Weevolution. But this is probably, the cloud stuff is probably going to be revealed at E3 if it does have traction, if it is actual legit news. Then they will probably say something. It'll probably be a big deal at their press conference, so we'll have to see what they're going to say about it.
Oh, you know they're just gonna focus on Call of Duty Black Ops, though.
No, but I think Black Ops is
At the
definitely going to
Sony
be at the
press conference?
Black Ops
No,
will
at
be
the
at
Microsoft.
Microsoft press conference, no doubt about that.
It'll be both. You know it'll be
No,
both.
no, no.
Sony
Microsoft
doesn't give a damn about their multiplayer.
Microsoft always have the exclusive on Call of Duty at E3. It's happened every time a new Call of Duty got released. Last E3, Modern Warfare 3 was the big exclusive they had at their press conference with the boat scene and all that stuff. So that's definitely
yeah.
it's going to be revealed at Microsoft's press conference,
It's just,
if any.
when you look at both systems, this is the way I've always seen it. If you're playing a single player offline, the PS3 is the better option. If you want to play online, multiplayer, shooters, whatever, you go with the 360 because their online services are infinitely better.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's how it goes, basically, Microsoft. And to be honest, most people who play Call of Duty play on Xbox. So that's where the main audience is, and that's where the people who are passionate about it will be watching. So
I suppose.
it makes sense that they do it there. And plus, Sony have loads of exclusives to talk about, which Microsoft has one. So, yeah.
Yeah. You got Halo 4.
That Halo...
Dude, okay, Halo 4 is gonna be amazing.
It's going to have
Yeah.
that Kinect. That
Sony's
Kinect
got
support.
God of War, whichever one we're on.
Ascension. It's not 4, it's Ascension.
I know, but we could throw in words and all the other ones too. We got God of War
Thing,
3 is
Ascension.
Rising. God of War 2 is just the sequel. God of War 1 is Origins.
Yeah. Stupid naming
It is dumb.
conventions. Revelations is my most hated one. It's in everything. It's stupid.
What about Brotherhood?
What does Revelations even mean? Like, it's used as a word after things that aren't numbered sequels.
You know what? You know what? Actually, I really hope they announce at E3 for Sony. I want to see some more of The Last of Us. Make it
Yes,
happen.
I'm probably going to do my vlog tomorrow on The Last of Us and how fucking awesome it's going to be. So that would be good. I'm definitely sure that they, in Judges Week, I think that some people, the journalists, basically, Judges Week is where journalists go before E3 just to see some stuff so that they're more clued up on things and they don't have to write things in a rush. But there were reports from people who had played a demo, the first playable demo of The Last of Us, and they said it was pretty damn awesome. So I'm very excited to see that.
It's a Naughty Dog game, so it's
Yeah.
going to be awesome.
I'm pretty sure that they'll have a playable demo, like what they did last year with Uncharted. They'll have a demo played on stage of The Last of Us, and that will be very cool. So I'm looking forward to that.
I still think Naughty Dog's best days were in the days of Crash Bandicoot, but who am I to judge?
Don't get me wrong, I love Crash, but Uncharted is just on another level. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
So-
God, there's secret.
Jak and Daxter too. Jak and Daxter too.
Cool, yeah. But
Jak and Daxter is going to be on the PlayStation Rumble Brawl Smash Brothers All Stars.
Rumble
That is
we talked
the
about
title.
that
They
actually.
threw every
Talk
word
about that.
together.
PlayStation Rumble Brawl Smash Brothers.
So can we honestly talk about that? Because seriously, that shit looks retarded.
Yeah,
We talked about it on a previous show.
we've talked about it a bit
Okay.
already, but you know, we'll definitely hear about that at E3. There will be lots of characters unveiled. Characters
There've
which
already,
we
there've already
know
been some that weren't supposed to be unveiled, but thanks to Twitter.
about. Thanks, Eric Layden. Thanks.
Oh, seriously, thanks. We appreciate it.
We do appreciate it. He's great. He doesn't understand how Twitter works, so he just he says what he likes. Oh man, well, that's cool. But yeah, that's pretty much that. And I guess we're going to move to what is perhaps the biggest news this week. So
Well, it's not perhaps the biggest news. It's far and away the biggest news,
yeah,
which is 38 Studios, which for a lot of people don't know what that is. So I'll quickly go over that. 38 Studios was created by a guy by the name of Kurt Schilling. Yes, I mean that Kurt Schilling, the pitcher from the friggin' Red Sox from back in the day. He created a company, and their first IP was Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, which I believe I talked about a bit on the first or second show.
yeah, it came out like a couple of months ago. So
Yeah, it came out January something or early February.
yeah, it was
either one.
early this year. It came out.
And I played the game. I thought it was fantastic. They had some really big names involved in that game. You know, they had R.A. Salvatore, who created the world. They had Todd McFarlane in there creating some of the story, or they flipped. I don't remember. But they had a lot of really big name people working on this game, and I thought it was a great game. I had some nitpicky issues with it for the PC port. I thought some of the camera issues, I don't know if they had them on the console. My friend has that game on the 360. He didn't notice it nearly as much as my friend and I who played it on PC did. That was a game that I would have paid money to have the ability to jump in, but that's just me being nitpicky. As far as the story goes, it wasn't really unique by any standards, but the game itself was really fun. It was really satisfying. They had some interesting skill mechanics and all of this stuff. And the game did pretty well, but it didn't do well enough. And I think the numbers were, we said like 1.2 million were sold.
They sold 1.2 million copies of the game, which by all means, for a new IP from a new studio in this industry, is very successful. I mean, that is a really good amount to sell. 1.2 million is great.
Especially when you take into account Skyrim, it just came out a month before that.
Yeah,
so you're
I mean,
competing with a really popular, although they're different in their own ways.
Mm-hmm.
Reckoning was more of a third-person kind of a Fable game, which that was the comparison a lot of people made, was that it was Fable. And then, Skyrim, which a lot of the fantasy RPG guys, they're only going to be playing Skyrim anyway because it's an Elder Scrolls game. They've been waiting for this for a while.
It will
really
also
excited.
take up like 400 hours of their life, so they don't need
Yeah.
anything else.
And so Reckoning came out a month later, 1.2 million, good numbers by all standards. They didn't sell enough. They needed about 3 million because they took out a 10 billion, I don't remember.
They took out a big loan.
Took out a big loan from Rhode Island. and they were working on the Kingdoms of Amalur RPG or MMORPG or a sequel. I think it was the MMO.
It was the MMO, yeah.
And it was based in the universe that they created in Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. And, they got through some of it, and then at the beginning of this month, things started to go downhill. Some of the executives higher up on the chain, they left the company. People put on their resume that they left 38 Studios May 1st. And about a week ago, we started hearing about the problems that 38 was having, where people are getting laid off, people are leaving the company, and now they have had to lay off their entire staff, which, if you live in Rhode Island, puts you at a huge disadvantage because now you guys are paying off that $10 million or $10 billion loan through the next, I think, 8 years. I think the article says it'll be done by 2020.
Yeah.
And
God.
so that means everybody in Rhode Island has to pay more money, and this is all because they didn't hit that quota that they, quote, needed to get.
Yeah.
And they didn't see any help from EA, which kind of surprises me.
They really set expectations too high, is the thing.
They had these high expectations, and when we started to hear some issues with it, I would have liked to have seen EA kind of step in, because that was an IP that could have been very successful for EA.
Yeah, definitely.
The world that was created was phenomenal. Everybody that I know that's played the game loves the world, loves the kind of universe that was created around it, and they could have gone places with that. MMO, maybe not so much, as we've seen with MMOs. They get so many bad ones. I mean, even looking at Star Wars, it's not all that great in comparison to the juggernaut that still is World of Warcraft. We have MMOs being thrown at us left, right, and center. Star Wars, World of Warcraft. I'm not going to go through the free-to-play ones. We got the Secret World that's coming out soon. There's the Elder Scrolls Online. Diablo 3 isn't a true MMORPG. It is a game that you have to play online, but you physically usually are kind of on your own. And even when you're playing with people, you still have that I'm on my own. My friends are just helping me through this story because everything that drops is mine. Whereas in an MMO, you're going through it to beat the bosses, to gather the loot and gear up and then go on your raids and all that stuff. Diablo 3 kind of has that sense just because Blizzard's got that in their mind that it works, and it does. And it's just a problem. Like I said, we have MMOs thrown at us right now, and all of them, if not all of them, 99% of them are destined to fail no matter what, including the Elder Scrolls Online, which we talked about a little while ago. And there was the 2 Final Fantasy MMOs.
Oh, God.
They failed.
Yep.
Age of Conan failed. Warhammer Online failed. And that was actually the one that really hurt 38 Studios, was Warhammer Online, because that was going to be or was, but it was an EA title. Or going to be an EA title, which Kingdoms of Amalur was going to be. It would have been on Origin.
Mm-hmm.
If it went out in the MMO standpoint, which obviously it was on Steam as well. You can still go out and buy it on Steam because it wasn't exclusive to EA. And if they did it, then it's becomes another MMO that might be destined to fail. It could have been really good. We don't know. And a lot of the reasons that MMOs don't do well right now is because of their $15 a month.
Yeah. The pricing is pretty ridiculous.
Microtransactions are just better from every standpoint. Every microtransaction MMO does better, whether it's League or the 2 that really got the soul started, Lord of the Rings Online, Dungeons and Dragons Online. And all of these failed pay-to-play, they've all gone to microtransactions now because it's the only way they can stay afloat, which is pretty much kind of the way that 38 Studios has gone. They couldn't get the job done, and now they have what they thought was going to be a fantastic game, and they can't finish it.
Yeah, it's a big disappointment, really, because Kingdoms of Amalur was a very critically acclaimed game. It got really good reviews across the board, and lots of people really enjoyed it. So it would have been very cool to see that come to fruition and hopefully see that studio flourish. But now that they've laid off all the stuff, technically the studio still exists. I believe that maybe Kurt Schilling's the only guy left employed by the company, or even the only person there at the company anymore on the list. just to make sure that the company actually still exists and is kept afloat somewhat. But it's going to be pretty much impossible for them at this point to do anything.
And I'm really sad about that. And I'm hoping that another company can take over 38 Studios, or it can at least take over that project.
Yes.
Because, there are a lot of people that were working on that project that were very passionate about it. There are people who said this was going to be the next great game, and we want to work on it, and they just can't right now, which is sad.
Yeah, it is. It's really frustrating. But there's what's been quite cool is actually on Twitter there's been this list going around from fans of the game and people who have taken all listings of every job in Rhode Island and have posted it on Twitter and are passing it around to all the people who got laid off so that they can find a job somewhere in the industry around that area, which is very awesome. I mean, that's a great thing with the community. So.
What we're going to be talking about in the next podcast is the Kingdoms of Amalur MMO Kickstarter.
Oh!
Just to pay back the loan.
We'll see. We'll see. Maybe that will happen. That would be a very smart idea, and I'm sure that it would break records. It would probably be able to...
I don't think it'd break records. I still think that the Tim Schafer game would be...
We'll see, but I mean, this is a big thing, and it's affected a lot of people.
It's a big game, and I know that a lot of people who have friends that were laid off, or relatives that were laid off, they would be more than happy to dish out some money.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I would like to see it become a sequel rather than an MMO if I wanted to put money onto it.
Yeah.
But
I think it would just be a lot more sustainable to have a sequel instead of an MMO, because... it's the problem with the MMO is that we don't know how successful it would be, and the formula seems to have worked with the actual Kingdoms of Amalur game. So I think that if they improved upon it, made it better, and just did the same sort of style that what they were going for before, they could make a lot of money out of it and do well, and then not have to worry about the MMO being a success or just flopping on them.
And the other thing when you look at MMOs too is you don't captivate people for long periods of time usually, unless you have 7 years to perfect the stuff like World of Warcraft. That was the reason everybody left Star Wars. I hit 60 and there's nothing for me to do.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. That's that. That's pretty sad news, but
very sad.
It's a brutal industry. That's what happens.
Yeah, and
money.
Back in the day, that was what I looked for, was a good MMO. And these days, I don't even care. And that it hurts me to have to say that. It's just, they don't captivate me anymore. They don't pull me in and force me to play.
Nothing fresh. Nothing fresh.
Well, even Terra Online, the way they presented that game was fresh, but it doesn't matter if your combat is phenomenal, which it was. The questing was so bad that I couldn't play that game. I wanted to stream the beta of that for a little bit, just like to get some footage together for it, just in case I needed it. I physically had to stop playing, which boggled my mind, because of the 3 games that were coming out that we were talking about for the longest time, Star Wars, Guild Wars 2, and Terra, Terra was the one that excited me the most.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't play it.
Yeah.
It was that bad.
Yeah. It did seem very cool combat-wise, like from what I'd seen of it, but I didn't know anything about the questing, but yeah, if you say that, then that
apparently
really
the end game is pretty good. But if I actually could do that and get to the end game, I might enjoy it. But if I have to sit through something I don't enjoy, I'm not paying $15 a month for it. If it was free, hands down I would. Yeah. Or if it was the Guild Wars thing, if it was $40, I might buy it and then just put up with it. But $15 a month for something I can't play for more than 40 minutes at a time.
Yeah, it's too much. But there you go. That's what MMOs have done. So anyway,
at least in the sense they are now. Well, we might see some.
Yeah.
I think Guild Wars 2 might be its savior, might be the thing that puts it in the new direction, but we'll just have to see.
I think in order for people to make MMOs the way, they used to be good, they need to take some time and say, okay, you have World of Warcraft, which is overlaying best MMO or most popular MMO out there right now, easy. What are the problems with World of Warcraft? How can we differ from those problems and make it just better, as opposed to, hey, we have a game here that's trying too hard to be World of Warcraft?
Well, here was the great thing about World of Warcraft. When it came out, it was one of those games that it still had a very much of a grindy feel to it. You still had to play for a very long time in order to get to your end game. So it didn't matter that they didn't have a bunch of raids or anything like that. You got World of Warcraft in vanilla days because your friends were playing it. It was a great experience to have that way.
Yeah.
And the questing, it was one of those games that actually had enough quests where you weren't killing a million sheep to get a level. And back in those days, the hotbar system that they had up was the only way to do it. Now they have 7 years under their belt where they've just built off of their early success. And, you know, a lot of people don't like how it's kind of gone to the casual gamers and things of that nature. They think pandas are going to ruin it. Whatever. But at the end of the day, they have enough things for the people who are their core, their max level people that are just doing the raids. They have enough people there where they're still going to be around for the next few years. Whereas Star Wars, Guild Wars, and all of these other new games, they have to build up enough of their endgame content or do what World of Warcraft did, which was make it harder to get to that point. Star Wars, you can have a max level character in a week, which, as far as an MMO goes, it's not good. Especially with that first month when you have 1 or 2 raids. And even now, I think they have maybe 5. So the people play them and they're like, okay, I'm done. I'm going to unsub. And then when they get new stuff, I'll pay for another month and do that. And, you know, as the months go on, people are going to get more interested in Star Wars because they're going to add more content to it and it's going to be fun. But they didn't do enough on day one to keep people interested by the time they hit their endgame content, which was the best leveling systems ever. It was hands down the best for that. But they made it too easy to get to the end, and you didn't want to stop playing. And when you got to the end, you're like, oh, crap, there's nothing to do. And The Secret World, which I have kind of followed a little bit, this is a game that looks really good. And then I watched the Total Biscuit stream of it, and if you didn't watch that and you are subscribed to Total Biscuit, you'll see the footage start to go up. It's a game that looks like it's going to be a letdown, so it's a game that I might not pick up as much as, again, I was interested in it, like Terra, which is unfortunate because there's still part of me that wants to give MMOs a chance, but everyone that I've given a chance to that's not called World of Warcraft has not satisfied me in any way, and I'm at that point now where I'm like a lot of the hardcore World of Warcraft players that have left the game. There's no reason for me to play it. I've done everything. I've gotten bored of it. Maybe when Pandas come out, I'll play it for a little bit just to have something to do.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where I've kind of given up on MMOs, which that was what started me on PC gaming. So it's for me to have to say that, it kind of sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like people who love first-person shooters just like, I can't get the new Call of Duty. I've lost all faith in them.
Yeah, yeah. So, there we go. I'm pretty sure that wraps that up for our topics for today.
If you have a question, please feel free to add McBoss on Skype. We'll try and get him to talk in the chat so you just know how to spell his name, but it's just McBoss on Skype.
I know that Nerdy Socks, he had a question right at the start, so if...
I saw it, but I completely forgot about what he was asking. I thought it was a good question, too, from what I remember of it.
Yeah,
so we can bring you into the call. You can ask us, just have one request. You have your stream muted when you join the call. Hopefully, and if you can't do this, don't worry about it. If you do have headphones as well, put them in. Just, we don't want to hear any background noise if we can avoid it.
Yeah, that happened last time, but it was okay in the end. It's like calling into a radio show if you have the radio on in the background.
Yeah.
And then you get the delayed audio. It just sounds weird. And then you get it looping, and and it's strange, and
Then it sounds very, very loud and it hurts my
Yes,
ears.
and honestly, if you don't mute your stream, I will hear your question and immediately remove you from the call because I wear headphones and it is incredibly annoying.
oh, looks like Nagi's here with the question.
I actually don't have a question right now. I could think
You
I could think
haven't
of one right
spoken
now
an hour and a half.
because I don't really know much about PC gaming.
Yeah.
I haven't said much either because I don't know, I haven't really heard much about the cloud thing or the 38
Yeah.
studios. So
Well, that's like me when you guys were talking about Kid Icarus stuff. I
Yeah,
don't own
yeah.
3DS, don't know
Yeah.
enough about it.
That's why we have this contrasting thing between me and Fiber, because we can cover both sides of the spectrum, and then we can meet in the
And
middle.
because Fizz doesn't have any reason to be here, is we fired him. Sorry, guys. Deal with it.
oh God, it's always
But
gonna be.
actually, you know what? I
this.
have a question, and it's directed at Tom, Nagi, and NBZ while people kind of gather their thoughts.
Sure.
Okay.
They have said there's not going to be another Kid Icarus game. What are your thoughts on this? Or at least for a while. There's no plans.
Now, what they've said, what Sakurai has said, is that he personally does not want to make another Kid Icarus game. Now, this does not mean that there will never be another Kid Icarus game. He has just said that he has done all he thinks he could do with the franchise, and he wants to leave it at that because he doesn't think he could do anything else to it which would make it any better, or anything that he would want to change about it in any case. So we probably
I think what he
will
should
see a
fix
game.
is the ground combat.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's something that happens.
No, because like honestly, I would have actually loved the game a lot more if it was just a straight hack and slash, not a shooter.
I don't know. I think that the shooting elements are great. I do love the aerial combat in the
Yeah,
game.
the aerial combat's fun.
Yeah,
A lot of fun.
yeah.
It's like it's no, and the thing is that like when I first saw the game like a year and a half ago, I thought at first that it was just like an on the ground hack and slash, which I would have loved.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's cool. I do like those sections, but it's so different than your usual hack and slash type of gameplay because you can choose to use melee combat if you want, but there is the shooting element to it as well, and it's relatively easy to dodge things. There's a lot going on the screen at once when you have lots of enemies there, and the good thing about it is it doesn't really have much slowdown. Like, it runs at a very solid frame rate, surprisingly so, especially like in the cutscenes and stuff and everything, and even in the boss battles when things get a bit heated. There's no frame drops.
If you're playing on a console or a handheld, if you're dropping your FPS, there's a problem. You need to not release your game.
Yeah, I know, but there are still plenty of games which have that problem, even though they have
plenty of games.
There are still plenty of games.
I agree. I'm just saying, if you're running on one of those, if you're running on a PC, that's fine. I understand that there are different PCs for every person. When everybody's using the same thing, when I'm designing a game, I have to be able to say, this needs to run at blank X FPS at all times, and if I can't do that, I need to
find out why that is.
Yeah. If I'm trying to run at 60, well, then I can lower it to 30 or 25 where it's still perfectly smooth and deal with it that way. But if I can't run at a pure 25 FPS at all times and things get choppy, I wouldn't put out a game on a console or a handheld. But I'm glad that it does.
Yeah.
In the sense that Kid Icarus, especially when there's a lot of things going on.
Oh, it's
when
really
you can do that, then that's when you realize, okay, now we've done our job.
I guess why I say that the most is that it surprised me at how powerful the 3DS really is and how much horsepower the system actually has, because it really feels like a console game, and the way that it is so smooth, and they've crammed so much into this game on just a small cartridge, and it's fantastic. It really does run excellently. So I guess it's just more of a surprise thing than anything else. I just wouldn't have expected it to run so well on the system, but it does the job, so it's fantastic in that way. So that's
good.
Do
you think that the stand is kind of a handcuff to the game? I know that McBoss said in the chat, and I saw this, that he got used to it.
Yes.
And he can play it anywhere. But one of the reasons that I don't like kind of the new handhelds is the sense that back in the day, my Game Boy Micro was my favorite thing in the world because I could
I
physically
wish I had a
actually play that thing with one hand. It wouldn't matter to me.
Yeah.
But there were 6 buttons. There was, the 4 directional movements.
Yeah.
There's the A button, the B button, and then there's the L and the R, and that was it.
Yeah.
No, there was no way you could overcomplicate that.
No.
And one of the issues I have with newer handhelds is that they've kind of gone to that overcomplication of things because they want to advance technology.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
And
that's
then-
just generally what happens when you advance anything, really. You just
Yeah,
get more complicated.
But then when I heard that you needed to have a stand, a lot of people physically needed the stand in order to play Kid Icarus, it was, I don't see how this is good. I feel like this would hold me away from buying this game.
Yeah.
And I remember playing the old Kid Icarus, so...
I think, as I've said before, like the control scheme is both a blessing and a curse because I do not think that it would work with dual circle pads. It would be much more comfortable and it would be desirable, but I don't think that the game necessitates 4 dual circle pads to work with what it's trying to go for. The problem is that you have to be so accurate and so quick that you require that mouse-like movement, so you need the stylus. You need it when you're shooting things, because if you didn't have it, you simply wouldn't be able to cover the ground quickly enough. You wouldn't be able to take out enemies fast enough, and the intensity level you'd have to play out would be a lot lower, just because of that. You wouldn't be able to, do as many things as quickly. So, although it's there and it's a problem, it's kind of necessary for the flow of the game.
The game
Although,
was...
alternatively, if the game was designed in mind for the dual circle pads, like if you didn't have to get a second one, if the 3DS just had 2, would it be something that you could have seen them design the game so it was running with that in mind, or would you still prefer to do the stylus?
I can see that they could have done it that way, sure. The problem is that the game was so far in development that by the time Nintendo announced this peripheral, Sakurai was like, the fuck, guys, why didn't you tell me about this? So,
Then again, they're always like that with Sakurai.
Yeah, the freaking Iwata on stage at E3 last year, he's like, I had a chat with Mr. Sakurai, and I was like, so we're talking about the new Smash Brothers games, and he's like, we will have one on 3DS, and we will have one on Wii U, and Sakurai's sitting there like, you were not supposed to say that, what are you doing, what is going on?
It's so funny, like, going back to the whole, what I think about their, Sakurai saying he's not gonna make another, a Kid Icarus game. Well, he said the same thing about Smash Brothers, and guess what? He's working on the new Smash Brothers. So,
yeah.
I think that if there is gonna be another Kid Icarus game, he is gonna work on it, because if he's gonna be like, okay, I'm the only one who knows how to do this, get the fuck out of the way, I'll show you motherfuckers how it's done. Just like what he's gonna do with Smash Brothers, except he's probably gonna fuck that up somehow too, but I don't know.
Alright, well, I think we have someone that we're going to get on a call for a question, so we'll try and get McBoss to bring them in, and we'll go from there. Answer some questiones.
Okay.
Alright, here we go.
Waiting with bells on my toes.
Yes, indeed.
The anticipation is rising. It's like I'm a toxic rogue.
I get it.
Hello.
How's it going?
Hi.
Hi.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Zephyr. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Very good, very
We're all
good.
good here.
Oh, we're just doing a podcast.
Yeah, that's it.
Ugh.
So, what's your question for us?
Okay, my question was, in terms of gameplay, what classic Nintendo game do you think is better than those of today?
Interesting question.
I'm not a nostalgia fag, so I'm not gonna answer that question.
Are we
Super
talking
Mario 64.
Are we talking about all Nintendo games or just like specific console?
I guess all Nintendo games, because I don't think you can cover it with just a specific console. But if I were to say one console, I would probably date it back to like N64 or something.
Okay.
Something like really old.
Alright, yeah.
Alright, I think I will start with this, with the obvious. Super Mario 64, hands down, best game ever made. The controls, very smooth. The soundtrack, simple but great. and
it
the
has
levels
the best
are varied
overworld
and nice.
in any game ever.
Yes.
It does have a fantastic overworld setting and everything. Where I will sort of disagree with you on the matter is that I believe that the Galaxy games outperform it in terms of innovation, in terms of platforming, and just more interesting mechanics in general. I think Galaxy pushed that formula a lot more than Mario. It took the original idea, but it did a lot more with it. Though I do like the castle setting and everything in the secret areas, I think that the pure platforming in Galaxy is better than the old games.
Well,
So
I said it's got the best overworld, and the Galaxy 2 overworld doesn't exist.
it's
so-
not an overworld, no. I mean, but that's not why you play that game. Why you play
No,
that game
but
is for...
when I think of Mario 64, I think of that overworld. I think of the secret slide area, and I loved that game. I really did. And
It's the reason why I say that Super Mario 64 is the best game ever made, period. Hands down. And I can say that with confidence.
It is a fantastic game, there's no doubt about
I
that.
wouldn't go that far because I am under the belief that Chrono
Tom,
Trigger is the greatest game
There is
ever made.
CDI as well, and those games are really good.
You can
Mhm.
stop
If you
talking.
mention CDI one more time, I swear to God. Swear.
But as far as
In my
games,
I would probably say Ocarina of Time, just because I'm a huge Zelda fan.
Ocarina of Time was fantastic as well in its own
I
right.
think that a lot of people don't give Majora's Mask enough credit in terms
Yes.
of gameplay, because
I love
that is
Majora's.
that is a game which is so starkly different to anything that has ever been released on any platform. That game is almost an entire genre on its own. It's so strange, it's so wacky and out of place.
It's so dark for a Zelda game.
It is. It's
so
really dark.
amazing.
It was
it is
great.
It is a fantastic game, and it has a living, breathing world in an era where getting, AI and NPCs correct was very difficult in 3D. They had like an amazing town and the system that went round,
Yes.
clockwork. It was very, very innovative
I
and
see what you
incredible.
did there. Nice pun.
Yeah, I know, right? But it was a really interesting game, and I don't think that there has been any game since then that has done anything like it. And I think that games need to take more risks like that, because it really is pretty amazing what they did with that game.
In my
Indeed.
own...
Yeah.
You said Sakurai does not. Well, we don't know for sure if there's never going to be another here. Like you said, another Kid Icarus game. But do you
Yeah.
think someone else might take over to make the second Kid Icarus?
Oh,
If
definitely.
there-
Without a doubt, I believe that there will be a Kid Icarus Wii U game. I think that there are many studios that could do a good job on it. There are lots of people that Nintendo could work with. I think that someone like Q Games, like Dylan Cuthbert, he obviously worked on Star Fox, the original Star Fox, and lots of Star Fox games. I think that they would be a good fit for a Kid Icarus game. They would do that pretty well. Or even like Treasure with Sin and Punishment. They have a very similar game style, so they could do well with the series. But I'm sure that Nintendo have a development studio in mind who they would want to pass the series on to, and I'm very sure that they will be able to carry it on. But I'm sure that Sakurai probably is not going to work on it anymore. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. He hasn't kept his word much, so.
Yeah. I mean, he might do something
I
down the
have one
road.
question. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Oh, it's fine. Go for it.
Okay, well, me and my friend have been arguing like constantly over and over, and the thing we've been arguing about is going back to where Sony versus Nintendo. Not that I'm hating on Sony, but it just seems that a lot of the things they do is kind of similar to the things other companies do. Now, for example, the Wii comes out. We all love it. Well, some people do.
Yeah.
And then Sony comes out with the Move. And then, obviously, Xbox I love Xbox. They invented online gaming. And then what happens next? Sony goes into that as well. And now they're trying to...
Not
keep-
true.
Technically,
Not true at all.
the GameCube had online gaming. And the
Technically,
PS2.
Dreamcast invented online game. It was the first console with a built-in modem.
Yeah, whatever.
What Xbox did, it wasn't even the Xbox, it was Halo. It was the online
Yes.
matchmaking system that
Halo
was created
2,
through Microsoft.
actually.
Yeah.
Halo 2.
Yeah.
And
Halo 1 didn't have it.
yeah, that is where Microsoft, you could say, kind of did the online thing. But I wouldn't say Sony copies it so much as it needs to be done.
It needs, yeah.
It's not something that is completely unique. I mean, it's the move. Yeah, you can say that is a complete copy.
Carbon
but online
copy.
gameplay is you need that in this day and age. I wouldn't
Yep.
call that a bad thing to be quote copying or whatever.
Yeah.
Obviously, the PlayStation 3 came out after the 360 anyway, so anything that the 360 did came first in a lot of cases. But copying is kind of a harsh word. It usually kind of has some negative tones. When it comes to online, I won't say it's copying. I think it's necessary.
So what if I say sample instead of copy?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
That's a better word. But the move, yeah, that's blatant copying
Yeah.
on
blatant.
the Wii. But and the thing I love about Sony is they're not throwing it down your face. They released it. The only thing you ever saw with it after that, I think, was the latest Resistance game when they had the gun. But Microsoft is forcing
Is
Kinect down
shoving
your-
the Kinect down our fucking throats.
I think a lot of
am
the reason
sick.
to do with that also has with the fact that the Move was relatively unsuccessful in comparison to the Kinect. So Sony really has no reason to shoehorn it onto anything because hardly any people have it anyway, and they don't think that it's a good idea. I think they've realized now that people don't want that kind of mechanism in their games anymore, so they've pretty much abandoned it.
But I think even if it was a successful thing, that Sony wouldn't be throwing it down our throats, and it wouldn't be something that they would be incorporating into every game.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I remember playing
pretty much
Killzone
what,
3, and while they showed some of the features in that game with the move, where there are some levers and switches that you need to deal with that it shows use the move controls for it, but you can still just move your DualShock around and it'll still do the same thing. So in that sense, I love what Sony did with the move where it's not necessary.
Uh-huh.
And with the Kinect, it's if it has any form of Kinect if a game is made on Kinect, you can't do anything with it. If a game's made with Sony or PlayStation Move in mind, you don't need PlayStation Move. It just adds to that experience.
Also, if anything, Microsoft is copying Sony because I remember a little-known thing called the iToy back in the day.
Yeah,
I know, right?
So, I mean, the Kinect is pretty much a super advanced iToy. It's not like these companies are, all have their own ideas and being stolen from one another.
Everybody
It's just
steals from
everyone is stealing from everyone.
Yeah.
iToy for iPad, like the little monkey thing.
The
No,
iToy
iToy.
was on the PlayStation 2, and it came
Yeah.
with like some games that you used. You basically it showed an image of you with kind of an overlay of this thing, and you moved your arms and smacked things. And
kind of like you've seen a gameplay of Fruit Ninja, right? Fruit Ninja
Yeah.
Connect.
yeah,
Well, that's basically what the iToy was.
yeah, basically. But Sony do have a knack, and they're well known for, I guess, copying other companies, Nintendo most notably. If we look at, for example, the most obvious recent one being the Smash Brothers clone, they really don't, at this point, they don't give a fuck that they're copying people because they know that these are good ideas, they sell, and they want to sell stuff. So, hey, why not? Let's do it. Also, people
And-
want it, so why not?
Yeah, and
And look, at the end of the day, if something is going to be on one console, it'll be on all of them. It's the same thing with computers. PC and Mac, they steal from each other all the time. Just you don't hear about it as much.
Mhm.
The fact of the matter is, in that market, if you are completely innovative, the Nintendo Wii was the only one that's completely innovative, but look at what happened. The Kinect came out and the PlayStation Move came out. They're going to take those ideas and they're going to try and improve on them because that is what they have to do. When the PlayStation 4, the 720, whatever the hell they're going to call these new systems come out, I wouldn't be surprised if the PlayStation 4 and the new Xbox have some sort of gimmick where they have something similar to the Wii U tablet.
Yep, definitely.
And
I mean,
do any of you own like a PS Vita? Like
I don't, but I am very much intending to buy one as soon as the price
drops again. Yeah, I'll buy one.
Look, the price is going to drop. The thing is doing fucking terrible right now. In Japan, it sold, like, I believe one of the recent statistics was that it sold 8,000 units in the same week the 3DS sold 85,000. It's being outsold 10 to 1 in Japan.
Yeah,
10
but
to 1.
see what's going to happen is the Monster Hunter game is going to come out and the PSV is going to be fine.
Oh, I'm sure that as soon as Call of Duty, which I think that's going to be shown at E3, I think Call of Duty for Vita will come to E3. I believe that the Vita is going to definitely get a real boost from that, especially in the West.
From the North American sales.
From the West, the Vita is going to do really well from that game. But as long as they manage to get a Monster Hunter game.
Oh, they've already confirmed it. It just hasn't come out yet.
You mean Monster Hunter Tri-G, right?
They have not confirmed that. There's been zero Monster Hunter game confirmed for the Vita. The only one you can play on the Vita is downloading the PSP game to it.
No, they actually. We talked about this on the first podcast. They did confirm one for the Vita.
They haven't. They have not confirmed one for the Vita. I can guarantee you they haven't. The only one, what you've probably heard is the one for the PSP is downloadable. The three portable. No, they have. I guarantee you 100% that they have not announced any Monster Hunter game for the Vita for an actual game for the Vita. 3G is not coming to the Vita.
No. What I'm saying, they haven't said we are currently developing one. They said there is going to be one. We haven't done anything enough where we're going to say this is the game name, this is what's going to have we can release stuff. But they've confirmed yes, there will be. I'm
sure there will be one, but they haven't actually come out and said which one will be on it yet. But
no, I didn't say that. It's just they said we're going to have one, and when it does, well, then everybody in Japan's going to have 6.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they'll have one for each day of the week. With their different.
I saw one of the comments on there saying that one of like every company emulates one another in some way, but
yeah,
when you think about it, going back to like maybe our parents and when they were kids and whatever, that's when like I want to say the Atari and stuff was out, like Pong days and whatnot. And
but
my mom
when your parents were out, it would be Atari and maybe the Nintendo Entertainment System, if that.
My mom had an Atari, I remember, and she was always saying that one of these days the companies are just all going to like freaking copy each other, and I'm like, no, you can't say all that because she's a gamer too, and we love playing. That's one of the things I love about my mom. She's a gamer.
That's awesome.
And
that is
we'll
awesome.
be arguing for hours about these companies, and like she's always saying, okay, well, Xbox, they're always going to be number one. I'm like, how can you say that? They're in a whole nother different like area. Like, I want to leave Xbox to motion gaming. I'm not motion gaming, online gaming. I leave Nintendo with like the Wii and stuff, and then with Sony, I kind of put them in the middle because I don't really know where to put them. But then, crap, I forgot what I was about to go with this. But basically, I think that you can't really compare the three. Like, they're all in their separate categories. Like,
undoubtedly, they all have their own niche, and they all appeal to completely different people, which is why it works so well, because you have that choice there in the market. I think that if we do eventually go to this place where we'll have a one console future, I'm not sure if that would even be viable, because people want so many different things. Unless this one console incorporates everything into one, which may eventually happen, but I'm not quite sure on that. It's good that there are very distinct differences between all three, so people can choose what they want to do and want to use, I guess.
I want to thank you guys for having me. It was pretty cool, but I really have to go right now.
Awesome.
I'm still gonna be watching the podcast.
Problem. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, boss, for having me here. Thank you guys for letting me ask my questions and whatnot.
All right. See you soon.
Cheers.
Bye. Okay, that was good.
It was good.
All right. If we have anyone else in the chat who wants to call in, then do add McBoss on Skype. He will drag and drop you because, we love him that much. He does all the nice things for us. So he's good like that.
But he never talks.
I'm just reading.
He's
Zoe
like the perfect
talking about her
girlfriend.
mom
He does
in the chat.
everything you ask him to do and never talks.
It's fine. He's a silent. He's a ninja.
I have a question.
Nagi with a question. What? Is this happening?
I know, it's crazy, but okay.
You know what? Yeah, go
It's
ahead.
a-
While we wait for
It's a
McBlock.
random question, but it's a random question, but it's like doesn't it feel awesome when there's like, okay, you have a console, and the next console in the series, our cutscenes is the next console's in-game graphics. Makes me feel real good about that.
Which cutscenes?
No, it's like
You're
like in
talking
general.
about from when you even looking at the PlayStation 1 where or the PlayStation 2 where CGI they had their in-game cutscenes and now we've kind of gone up
Yeah.
to where the CGI can kind
Yeah.
of be the in-game graphics. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like
It's very awesome that Final
it's like
Fantasy XIII's in-game cutscenes can't. I mean, you can tell the difference between the FMV and the in-game, but they are so much closer than they used to be, and it really looks awesome.
Yeah.
I just a perfect example of that is White Knight Chronicles. I just love how for no reason whatsoever they have these 30-second CGI HD cutscenes where nobody talks. They're literally 30 seconds long and they're just showing off the environment and there is no need for them to be there. I think there's maybe 2 or 3 of them in the game and every other cutscene is just the in-game graphics of whatever and it's fine, they work. And then for no apparent reason, this is HD in your face.
And then, no,
You mean
okay.
kind of like what Kingdom Hearts does?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like okay. Last year's FMV sequences last generation's FMV sequences is this generation's in-game graphics. That's what I'm saying.
Well, from me and my standpoint, I care less about graphics than I do about the game itself, which is why I will forever say the Super Nintendo is the greatest console ever made.
No, the PS2.
The Super Nintendo, and I'll tell you why. It came out in that generation where if your game was good, it had to be about the gameplay. It was about maximizing what little you could do. A fantastic musical score on the Super Nintendo is forever infinitely better than anything else from, even the 64-bit era, the N64 and whatnot, when they could actually or 64-bit not as much, but the PlayStation 2, you could import MP3s and those kind of files, whereas the old classic retro consoles, they did that with soundboards.
Yes.
And that is why, for me, SNES, greatest console ever made, because they made the experience infinitely better than what we have right now. They didn't care about explosions and scantily
Michael Bay.
Yeah, the Michael Bay syndrome.
The Michael Bay effect.
So we have a question about potential RSE remakes.
Yeah, we're gonna drag him into the call.
Yeah.
Sure. This is gonna be my last question because my friend is bitching at me to play Halo with him. So.
Oh, well, that is fine. We're probably gonna be wrapping up here shortly anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, here we go. Dun, 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 dun.
My boy.
So about that local sports team.
How about
Oh,
that
hey,
weather?
how's it going?
Miller.
Hello?
Hello.
You're in the call.
Hello?
Do you have a microphone?
Yeah.
Ugh. I'm gonna see if I can answer this next question in the Crunk voice.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I don't think this guy has a microphone, or he's not able to talk at the moment.
Hello.
I can't hear anything.
Do you need help finding your remote?
Technical difficulties.
Just how about this? Okay, Nubs, battle him and turn on voice chat and just.
No.
Aye. Here's what we gotta do. We gotta drive through a vacuum cleaner. Then in the vacuum cleaner we'll be able to find out.
Quick, grab the DeLorean. We'll go back in time.
Yes!
To where he initially asked the question, and then we'll make sure that he has a microphone before we do it.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello.
He does not.
Goodbye?
He doesn't appear to be able to speak to us right now.
All right, Lucas Miller, if you come back, we'd love to take your question.
Yep.
Right
Ugh.
now, there's some issues, I think. There's no microphone being... Well, we can't
Yeah,
hear you,
we
so...
can't.
So,
If you are talking.
yeah.
Ugh.
No.
Ugh, we ought to do that typing.
If we don't have any other questions, then I guess we're going to probably wrap this
Yeah.
thing up.
All right. Well, it would appear that he either went AFK or something. So we're just gonna wrap things up. And what we do to wrap things up is we shamelessly promote ourselves. And if there's anything specific we want to inform people to watch or read, etc., we go ahead and do that. So because Tom has a friend bitching at him, Tom, what's your channel? What do you got going on? Plug yourself.
My channel is Dude1991, or as Zed calls me, Tim1793.
1976, actually.
Right, sorry. But I do a lot of Let's Plays. Well, that's what I mostly focus on, but I also do some Wi-Fi battles occasionally. I'm focusing more actually on Wi-Fi battles at the moment because my Emerald Let's Play has a. I'm not getting into that, but
Great description.
yes, but yes, you can check me out if you want, watch some of my stuff, and you can subscribe if you want to. Not forcing anything.
You don't have a Twitter or a Facebook to plug, do you?
Nope, no Twitter or Facebook because I'm a hipster and I hate both.
Yeah. All right.
And you don't have an IGN blog either?
No. The only thing I have is I have a MySpace.
Wow.
Ugh.
Wow. Okay.
No, I actually don't.
Yeah.
I-
Who does? Who does? Okay. But yeah.
But, thanks
I
thanks
have
for... Oh, go ahead.
Also, sorry, my channel, it has 2 U's, DUUDE 1991.
Yes.
So, yes.
Yeah.
Just want to say thank you for coming on out and subbing in for Fizz today, Tom. If you want to take off, that's okay.
Thank you.
But appreciate you stepping in pretty much last minute.
Yeah, had to wake up from going to sleep at 7:40 a.m. It's
Yeah.
great.
All right.
But yes, thank you for having me.
No
And
problem. We'll have you back
see ya.
at the time.
Awesome.
Awesome. Cheers, Tom.
Later.
Cheers.
Bye.
All right, Nagi, you just got a mic. Go ahead and pour yourself out a little bit.
Well, my channel is Naranagi, Naranagi, and I upload nothing at the moment because I don't have any material. So don't even bother subscribing to me. Although what I do have at the moment is a guest commentary with me, Nubs right here, and Ferris Wheel of my Zelda Wind Waker playthrough. Because
We did post narration
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah, and in that playthrough I have 3 hearts because, as Ferris says, I'm so bad at the game I can't even collect heart pieces. So yeah.
Is it that you're bad at the game, or you're just man-moding it?
Well, a bit of both, really.
See, for me, if somebody said that, I'd be like, nah, I'm just not a bitch. I only need 3 hearts.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like the game is really easy anyway, and after that I'm gonna plan on doing Skyward Sword 6 hearts no shield hero mode.
Otherwise known as a death wish.
Not really. I'm on my test playthrough of it right now. I'm in the Elven volcano.
Well, you're doing pretty well then, I guess.
Mm.
Alright.
Although Girahim was a bitch in this guy.
Girahim is always a bitch. He's a fucking dickhead.
He's like the XSplit in Skyward Sword.
No,
He is the expletive of Skyward.
although as like a general villain, he's actually pretty cool.
He's definitely one of my favorite villains in the Zelda series, without a doubt. The most character of any villain. But yeah, that's cool.
His final form is also pretty badass.
Oh yeah, that's cool. But yeah, as for me, what I'm doing, I am uploading my usual stuff, but also, if you've been following my channel, you'll know that the last few days I have been uploading a sort of road to E3 style thing. I've been doing a vlog every day on a specific topic or game that will most likely make an appearance at E3, and I've been having a lot of fun with that. It's really good just to get the camera out, record a video, and then go through editing and do the whole process. I've been having a lot of fun with it, so I get to air my opinions on games and stuff that I'm interested in, and kind of sort of like a mini podcast style thing. So if you do enjoy the podcast, head on over to my channel, and I've got 5 or 6 videos up now.
If you enjoy shiny bedposts.
If you enjoy the sun shining on my bedpost, then.
If you enjoy
And just
an
FYI,
Mhm.
every one of his videos freezes at 5 minutes and 20 seconds.
No.
Even when the ones that are under 5 minutes long, it's freeze.
That was ridiculous. YouTube is so fucked up these days. Oh my god. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much what I've got going on. Twitter at NBZ, that's ENNBEZED. You can Facebook me /LordMBZ, and you can IGN blog me at LordMBZ on IGN. So, there you go.
No Five Guys and a Gigalith up for a while, though?
Maybe in a month or so. I'm working out the kinks. We'll see.
Is McBoss finally a male?
Oh, he
No.
will be a man. He will be a man. I swear.
Okay.
Alright. So,
Well, let's see. For me, I just put out a video yesterday. I kind of talk a little bit about the new League of Legends character versus an old League of Legends character, because a lot of people were making an argument, and I went in and looked at the numbers and proved everybody wrong. But other than that,
Final decision.
the final decision is just, if you watch the video, the new character, he'll win every time in overall, but in straight 1v1s, the old character Garen is still the better option, in my opinion. Plus, the numbers kind of support that. However, that is not what I'm really talking about. As I mentioned, I'm moving. In fact, I am moving on Friday. I'm flying out to Vancouver, so I probably won't have anything this week. I have like 14 replays from a borderline professional League of Legends player that sent me that I am going to be playing, be casting. You'll see a lot of casting stuff go on my channel in the near future. Other than that, though it probably won't happen anytime soon, I'm going to be the biggest man in gaming history. I am going to play through Diablo 3 Inferno on a hardcore character, and I am going to do the achievement where I beat all of the act bosses without any gear on. And for anybody who doesn't know what hardcore means, it means if I die, my character's done. So all the hours that I put in to get to the end game will be wasted.
So wait. So basically, for the entire game, you have one life.
Yeah.
Are you gonna stream this? Because I want to see you fail at the first 10 minutes.
Considering that it would probably take me about 48 hours to get to max level without dying, I wouldn't stream that. But
We're okay.
it won't be anything I do anytime soon. I actually want to go through and beat the bosses just using my fists and my abilities, and then get it to that point where I can do it without dying. So it'll take a long time, but I have an idea for a new series that I kind of joked around with MBZ and Fizz a little bit, and Zoe knows it too. And I'm not going to spoil it, but it might start shortly after the move. We'll see. I want to get a better camera to do it, but because my birthday is actually in about 2 weeks, it might happen.
yeah.
We'll see.
It's a very interesting idea, so we'll see.
The title is the greatest thing ever.
Oh yeah.
I'm just trying to. I don't know if I'll put anything out before I move. The VOD for this will be up by the end of tomorrow. We'll see.
Getting a good turnaround on that now, so that should be good.
Well, I want to get it up while I have decent upspeed,
Yeah.
because I know what my internet's going to be like when I move.
Yep.
And then I might spend the rest of my week just man-moding and just solo casting all of these replays that I have, and
Yeah.
see a lot of League of Legends stuff going on my channel again, because everybody loves League of Legends.
Yeah.
But my Twitter is twitter.com/highinfiber, and my YouTube is youtube.com/highinfiber21. That is where the VOD for this will be. And a side note, because it might happen, it might not happen, on Thursday, if Fizz is available, we will do another stream, another podcast in regards to E3.
We're going to do an E3 prediction show, hopefully.
My
And-
prediction is Sunshine 2.
If Fizz can't do it, I don't know. I would still like to do something with
Yeah.
you said, whether we do it live or just record it.
Yeah.
We'll see. But you should be able to look out for that. As far as when we do another one of these, who knows? We've kind of been working on every other week at this point.
Uh-huh.
But when I move, me and Fizz will be in the same time zone, so that will make things a lot easier.
Indeed.
We'll just have to worry about, MBZ being able to join Real Kid time.
Yeah, I'll be okay. I'm usually fine, so
Mhm.
so it should
But-
be okay.
Yeah, as far as my channel, nothing exciting. Not anytime soon. When I move and get settled, you might see some cool new stuff. But other than that, nothing going on my channel. I'm boring.
Indeed.
But
All right.
thank you guys for coming out to this show. I know that a couple of people had, or I know one person in particular had another question, so I'll still be on for a little bit, but the podcast is over, and I'll probably be jetting out of here shortly. No, I don't do Pokemon battles, don't ask. We put them here, so you people don't do that. No, we put them here because MVZ can't stream. His
Yeah.
internet at home is not that great, his computer is bad.
Basically.
But again, thank you guys for coming out. I'm High in Fiber. MBZ is MBZ.
And I'm no one.
Nagi, we's just here. We don't know why.
Yeah.
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 Riding off in the sunset. Goodbye. Cue the MBZ doing the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh god. Goodbye, everyone.
Bum 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 bara bara bum 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 bara bara bum 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 dun 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 Use this as outtakes. That'll be good.